All right, welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week, hopefully, we can avoid technical difficulties by switching to Streamlabs OBS instead of regular OBS, but we'll see. Um, but with that, we'll go ahead and let you guys know some of the topics we're going to get into today. Obviously, the big Xbox reset, all the companies that they're looking to let go here, potentially, or spin off, or what have you. There's a number of them in negotiations and things of that nature, as well as discussing the state of Square Enix, remakes, HD 2D, all the good things, and some of the bad things, depending on your perspective, depending on what you like and what you want out of that company, and much more. So, but before we get into all that, we'll go ahead and see what everybody's been playing since it has been a non-stop busy gaming season. One of the great things that has actually been good this year. So, Weeb, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Yeah, have a bit of a bug or whatever. I don't know. I've been feeling whatever for the whole week. Like every day is like a Russian roulette with symptoms. So I don't know. COVID X, I guess.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, but did have a great time playing games. I finished Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Congrats.
Went for the plat. Thank you. Yeah, it was
Nice.
pretty fun from beginning to end. The greatest hits, of all the Batman adaptations somehow strung together in a coherent story. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say? It's just if you're a fan of Batman, yeah, you can thoroughly enjoy it. It's probably the last good Batman game we're gonna get since Rocksteady probably can't be bothered to actually make a proper Batman game again. Um, and they get referenced heavily in this game as well. So it's fun to see them recreating some of the scenes from Arkham Asylum, but also kind of bittersweet because yeah, we're never gonna get that back, I guess. Um, I yeah, I also shout out to them for I think it's chapter 4 or something where they just recreated the entire intro of the
Yeah,
uh
Batman animated
Batman series.
series.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, it
go.
was. Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Other than that, I also finished a small indie game called Donut County, from published by Annapurna. Also got a plat in that. It was a fun short game where you're basically controlling a hole that just sort of like Katamari style gets bigger the more it sucks in, and you're gonna have to complete, yeah, levels like that where you just have to suck the right things in to get it big enough to
Pause.
eventually pass. Yeah, that's what she said. Uh, no, yeah, to eventually just basically suck in the entire neighborhood. Um, yeah, was pretty fun. You can and then there are some like modifiers where you yeah, suck in a fireplace, suddenly your hole is on fire. And you can burn stuff, and or you have a catapult at some point, or you can just regurgitate stuff and use that to solve puzzles. But yeah, it was a pretty fun short yeah, indie game, um, that I yeah figured let's play that in between. Also played the demo of Goldman. It was a pretty lengthy demo. Yeah, it was pretty good. Like the charm of the yeah, the sort of European comic book style animation. A lot of attention to detail in enemy design and environments. Like they have a lot of personality. Like you're have like puzzles where you have to with pillars that sort of ink like grow or shrink depending on where you jump or crouch on them, but they're like animated, like they're like living creatures and
Continue. Sorry about that. I muted the shit out of
when
my
they're
phone, but for
like
some reason.
okay, Omar. Yeah, do wonder when the game is actually gonna come out, but like it's not. Um, yeah, and also do hope that because the platform challenge just can be challenging. Like I mean, this is like early on in the game, and I've already come across a couple of sequences or you have to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was confused. He finished, I thought, but yeah, no.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Am I good now?
Yeah, you're
It
good.
sounds better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe the internet. Um. Do you have to start again, or is did you get what I? No. Oh. Ah, okay. Yeah. 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 I mean, my voice is also a bit short, so maybe that's it. Um. And yeah. After that, I started with the Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Which is pretty fun. Um, but yeah, then of course I had to switch to Elliot, which came out, which I've been playing now. Yeah, basically nonstop. Like it's yeah, hell of a fun. Yeah, Zelda-like RPG. Um, yeah, a very interesting story. A lot of charm with yeah, the characters. Um, yeah, been the blast so far. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Sounds good. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
I'm good. I'm good. I've as per usual, I'm on a similar gaming path as Weeb. That's why I love him. I was gonna come on here and stunt that I got the Lego Batman plat, but of course he beat me to it. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, also got the platinum on Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Really loved
Okay.
it. I think it really exceeded my expectations. And it's not just because I'm craving, some more Batman because I am, right? But it was a great game in of itself. You could just tell that team really has a love for Batman, and not just Batman in gaming, but Batman in all of its mediums, whether it's movies, the comics, like all the Batman lore. Like I just kept seeing just little Easter eggs everywhere, and it was fantastic. Like every Batman suit you could think of, every version of the Batmobile, every version of all of his sidekicks, whether it was Robin, Nightwing, Batwoman. It was great. Batgirl, excuse me. But yeah, fantastic game. Highly recommend it. If you like we said, if you're a Batman fan, this is definitely a game that was built for you and by other Batman fans. It ran smooth. That was one of the, if you guys remember, one of the biggest things I was worried about was how it would run because of the spec sheet that they released like a few weeks before launch. It looked like it was gonna be a very hard game to run. They were basically saying like you're gonna need every form of super sampling and DLSS and everything to get it to run at like a 4K at steady 60 or whatever on PC. So I was just like, ooh, then how's it gonna run on console? But there was a little bit of hitching with the frame rate, like in certain sections, but like I'm talking like 99% of the game was ran beautifully, 60 FPS, no problems. And this was the best looking Lego game that TT Games has released. Like I'm talking just the fidelity and the design of the Legos, just like all of like the little intricacies that are in Legos. You could tell, you could see it in these Legos, like the seams and like the little bits of thread and things like that on the cape. The rain mechanics were also like very impressive in their version of Gotham. Just obviously Gotham is always dark. It's always raining, right? There's never any sun apparently in Gotham. But yeah, the rain mechanics, it just the way it would fall onto the Legos and drip off, and the puddles that would accumulate. Like it was just a very beautiful looking game with like the neon backdrop of the dark city of Gotham, and you being able to glide with your cape all throughout the city, and like I said, your Batmobile, like all the things you love about gaming with Batman were present in this game. Even the my favorite, the perch, quote unquote assassination, when you can sit on the perch and you can grapple the enemy and put them up on the perch. That I used to love doing that in Arkham. I would like go from perch to perch and just like grab enemies and do that. And they brought that back they brought that into this game. So yeah, I can't recommend Lego Batman enough. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Great. I think this is one of their best Lego games, because TT Games obviously has a plethora of different Lego IPs, and I think this was definitely one of the best, if not the best one that they've put out. I like this one even more than the Skywalker saga. But yeah, fantastic game. And also like just like Weeb over here, I started playing, the Adventures of Elliot. Great game. Really great game. But Team Asano doesn't really miss, at least for me. So, I am probably 4, maybe 5 hours into the game. I'm not too far, but from what I've been playing, I'm enjoying really everything in the game. The story is, enthralled me. So, so far, I'm really into Elliot and, everything that's happening in the game, and my little fairy sidekick and everything like that. And it's just a beautiful game. Team Asano, it's like they keep getting better with their, they are known for their HD 2D games, but it seems like they keep raising the bar for the quality of the 2D games. Like I'm constantly taking screenshots and like just stopping and looking at the environment because it's just so well done. Um I'm really, I was apprehensive at first because I'm more of especially when it comes to JRPGs, and more specifically the HD 2D, subgenre of that. I prefer turn-based combat. So, I was a little, like I said, apprehensive about it at first. But thankfully, as most JRPGs do, they had a demo out, tried it, really enjoyed it. So had to go in on it, and I am really liking the combat thus far. I really like the versatility of the different type of weapons. Like I'm trying to switch it up. Like I was I was using the sword and the boomerang at first, and now I'm kind of using like the spear and forgot what you call that thing, like this the ball and scythe or the ball and chain thing. Um, that's kind of what I'm sticking to right now. I'm trying to hone in on the different weapons, but I'm really enjoying the action combat for this game. It's a lot more challenging than I thought it would be, especially with the boss fights in the dungeons. You got to move quick, and I like that our fairy companion is also you can control her as well. So it takes a lot of kind of skill to, you're controlling your main character, which is Elliot, and you're also controlling the fairy, which has her own powers that you can kind of gather throughout the world. Like, one example is, she can turn into flames. Another is she can make you run fast. Another one is that she can, you can warp to wherever she is. So if you're trying to get over like a, a vast ledge or something, you can just, control her to go over there and then use the warp feature to warp over there. so that if you can't jump over there, and trying to use these mechanics, because you control her with the right analog stick and you control Elliot with the left one. So it's really fun when you're doing the boss fights and you maybe have her on like her fire ability, trying to set the enemy on fire while you're also maybe shooting arrows with Elliot or spearing the enemy with Elliot or whatever. It takes a lot of skill. Like I'm sitting here trying to control both of them, while fighting the enemy with both of these characters, while also trying to dodge or jump out the way of the enemy as they're hitting me. So that challenge in that combat is really fun. But yeah, like always, like I said, I'm a story first gamer. So like the game, I don't have any complaints about the gameplay, but I'm always about the story, and the story so far is really good. I really want to see where this ends, and if we quote unquote capture the bad guy and find him before things go awry. But yeah, like I said, Team Misono has not missed for me, and I'm looking forward to playing their Final Fantasy game, Resonance, when it comes out in October. So I want to get this, done. Obviously, I still have plenty of time, but there's other games coming before that. So I want to play this, get this done, and kind of move on. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. The games I've been playing have been great so far. So yeah.
Sounds good. Uh, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Falling finally. Internet is working for me, and Streamlab is working for you. No OBS. So what I've been playing? Nothing boring. It's boring. There's no game to play. Okay, on a serious note, I got the platinum in God of War from Sparta.
Nice, congrats.
Um, Thank you.
Rep.
Very neat game. Thank you. It was easy. It was just ton of busy work. No real challenge. But it was fun. I love the music. Out of everything, the music. And
I
who
mean, Bear
created
McGrary.
it.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, you feel like
The
it. I
bear.
don't know if they did, but it feels like they brought some people from the original God of War to this music. Okay. Besides that,
No,
I started.
it's Bear McGrary from
Yeah,
the
it
new show.
is. Yeah. He is the guy who did the
Okay.
original music. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can recognize it. Other than that, I started Trine One. I'm a huge fan of Trine. It's a little puzzle game that I play on my own, despite the fact that you can play co-op. I just love um, the comedy in the game. I love the narrator, his voice, his mannerism, and who can't hate on the main characters always getting themselves in trouble. Basically, you have a mage, you have a wizard, an archer, and a knight, and they all have different abilities, and their combat work in tandem with their puzzle solving skills, which I've always found phenomenal. And with the reveal trailer for Trine 6, what better time to play the Trine that I made and get the platinum, hopefully. And I played Echo Dawn. No, I know it's Echo something. It's just sort of online game that is trying not to be sort of online, if that can make any sense. I only played literally the prologue because when you download the prologue, the rest of the download need to happen. And with my phenomenal internet, was taking me 99 plus hours to complete. So yeah, only today that that download finished. After that, I started Elliot as like everyone else. I started from the after the demo ended. I wish they fixed this issue, but they didn't. So I just hated that I can't see when my meter is ready to get a star or another star. I know it's a percentage thing, but I wish they put a meter on it. Besides that, I'm just loving the game. The story is interesting. The music is phenomenal. And Morgan talked about the skills that you get. Yeah. What I love about it is not just the skills that you get, but that little pocket dimension where you can literally play mini games with these skills. And when you do well, you get nice music out of it. And I have done well so far. I'm loving. Again, I'm more going to talk about the skill. So yeah, I am a huge fan of the weapon variety and the skills that you can get with them, and above all, your little sidekick is. I just love people that talk with you on the road. I hate people that are silent, but apparently you can make her silent if you want to in the main menu, which I'm not gonna do. I'm in the option menu. But besides that, yeah, no, these are the games that I've been playing. I I will say so. If you want and you're gonna want to play this game, you better put investment in every single weapon because you need to get 200k with every single weapon. Good luck.
Cool. Yeah. As for me, um, yeah, it's just honestly just been trying to get through a lot of these titles. I'm still continuing, um, my run through 007, First Light, which is definitely gotten better, at the point that I'm at now, um, and then um, honestly just trying to keep up with some of these other announcements is like the main thing, um, but oh yeah, then you had the Switch 2 launch for Xenoblade Chronicles, um, Definitive Edition. So Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So I've been making my way through that. I have started it before, but honestly, I didn't get that far. So like where I'm at now, I'm definitely considerably further, um, than where I was. So that's definitely one of the main titles that I've been pushing through because I've played and beat the rest of them, at some point, but one was always the one that just kind of never really grabbed me. It's the combat was also like really slow and stuff like that, and I'm getting through some of those and trying to mitigate that. People state that the story is one of the big things that's worth it with Xenoblade Chronicles, so we'll see how I feel about that. I think the other ones definitely live up to it. Um, but yeah, not really sure. And then still maintaining and playing uh, Forza Horizon 6 pretty heavily. I have over 200 hours in that now, and I reached Legend Island the other day. So where you essentially beating this game is weird. So I mean, you reach Legend Island, you reach the end of the festival, you become a legend. So I have the wristband that says Legend. Um, and then there is some stuff that unlocks after that, and of course, this is a very live service type game. It does have a core element to it, the story mode, and some of the other story beats that they included in this one. But I've essentially beat it. Um, but yeah, then there's still the festival playlist and all the stuff that updates all the time and all the new things that they're adding. I still got to go around, get all the roads, you know, complete all the side events and stuff that are usually on there. There's a ton of those. So yeah, still plenty to do, plenty to play. Um, I'm really enjoying that. Um, and then I've been in my hype for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I've been playing some of the older Fire Emblem titles. Um, I just can't help myself. I mean, again, one of my favorite franchises for a reason. So playing that, trying out some other things via Steam Next Fest, um, as well. So it's just like honestly, there's so much going on. It's hard to just keep up with everything while also keeping in mind what's coming. So like right now, the main thing on the block next, At least for me and Morgan, is uh, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's probably the next major thing that's dropping. Went on ahead and grabbed the deluxe edition for that because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of that particular entry, so I can't wait to play this. It's looking really good. But yeah, it's like the main stuff I would probably say that I've been playing. But I'm sure, again, with all the things we've been playing, that I'm forgetting something. I did try the demo for Adventures of Elliot, but unlike the rest of the cast, I will not be playing it. It's not for me. I'm just typically not a fan of those types of games. But I did try. I got a little bit further, got into the dungeon, and did some other things. But it's very Zelda coded, as they would say. They stated they went after the Mana series, which again is another series that I've never been a fan of. So yeah, it's just not for me, and I'm cool with that because I got plenty to play. The same way that I'll be playing Ace Combat 8 when it comes out, and I don't really expect nobody else to play that. So yeah, tons of games for everybody though. At the end of the day, hey, what's up, C Fresh? But yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the main topic because I want to talk about this one the most. It has so many parts to it. So this one was an article from The Gamer, where they essentially the title was very polarizing for a lot of people, but when you actually read it and go into it, honestly, it was very well written. They basically, the title says though, I don't want to see a single remake from Square Enix after Final Fantasy VII Revelation. And for me personally, I feel like they made a lot of really good points, right? They're essentially saying like, the amount of money, time, development, and like manpower in order to do this over the course of basically, if you look at from the original announcement, would have been 12 years by the time Revelations actually releases. And it's like there's so much that was tied up in that where Square cannot really focus 100% on creating a lot of new IPs. So you're seeing a lot of reliance on older franchises, so on and so forth, which are, don't really have the same pull that they used to when we were growing up. PS1, PS2, I mean, even PS3, right? We're talking about Final Fantasy 15, one of the titles that was a lot of people didn't even really like, right? Still went on to sell like 15 plus million copies in a fairly short amount of time, because that was when like Final Fantasy, a named or numbered Final Fantasy would drop, and everybody was ready to jump on it. They've always been like major events. They were usually the top when it comes to AAA, AAA JRPGs for a new era, showing what a true AAA JRPG was capable of. And they've definitely had some woes and issues with that over the years. You had 16, which again, still fidelity wise, looked great, but definitely had a polarizing effect on the fan base as a whole. Them trying to attract fans that otherwise don't really exist, right? Trying to create new fans to bring over while still trying to rely on that Final Fantasy name, while removing a lot of things that make the game Final Fantasy. But yeah, like I said, we went on ahead and made sure everybody kind of read into the article. There's a lot of points in here, so I really want to see what everybody thinks. But really, overall discussion about the danger in kind of getting wrapped up in doing nothing but remakes, the manpower that's taking, and like what does that do to developing new IPs? Because honestly, outside of Team Asano, they haven't really been doing that much or doing it successfully. Which is a whole nother question, right? With the HD 2D Resonance coming, like, is that a viable option, for them to push out newer IPs? And ultimately, would that sustain a company as large as someone like Square? But yeah, we'll see what everybody thought of the article after reading it. But I just wanted to give everybody kind of the rundown of what it was about, and then we'll continue to talk about it further. Um, but yeah, Omar, you can go first, sir. You read into it. What did you like? What did you agree with? Would you not? How did you feel after the state of Square Enix after reading that article, and what kind of issues stuck out to you?
So she clearly stated that right now Square Enix is in turmoil, especially after FF16. They don't know what they're gonna do. She said that surely that's her job suggestion or rather assumption. They are working. There is being worked on Final Fantasy 17 in some type of form, shape of form. But whether Waffle Combat is gonna have how it's gonna shape up it to be, they don't know. And I agree with her on that part because right now Square Enix seems to be in a structure that they are really confused and lost. Like they say they don't want, they think JRPG don't sell. I'm talking about game-based. JRPG don't sell, but then you come out with Octopath, you come out with all these games, and now with this Final Fantasy Renaissance, which clearly seems it's not just a simple gacha game.
I was gonna say,
They
make
put
sure.
the
So I don't want to stop you, but make sure you're close enough to the mic and that you don't move a lot, because you sound like
I'm not.
your volume is fluctuating a lot for some reason.
I don't, but I don't know why. Because I'm little here. I move very super close to the mic.
Yeah,
Better?
yeah, you sound better.
Okay, sorry. Um, so yeah, what do I don't agree with? No, I want more remakes, especially the games that I have been dying for. FF6, FF10, like give me those remakes. And before people say anything, like you are Square Enix, you can what you call it, split your team up. Have one team working on Kingdom Hearts, have one team working on this, have one team working on that. I'm not asking Final Fantasy X to be three games like they did with seven. Seven, not gonna lie, seven was just way too much, even as a remake. The way they did it with three games. Um, so that point I disagree with her on. What I do agree with her on is that right now Square in a state of turmoil. That they don't know what they want right now, what they have, what they can, and stuff like that. Um, Besides that, it yeah. I I also want new IPs. Like I do like new IPs. So yeah, I I am with her on new IPs, but I don't see why you can't make what we call it, have new IPs and make remake. So focusing on seven remake as a whole, I disagree with her viewpoint on it. Other than that, yeah, no. She does seem to understand what Square Enix is suffering from right now. Like she acknowledged and recognized that Square Enix right now is not at its best. And the funny part is she mentioned Kingdom Hearts before we have not heard about Kingdom Hearts for so long before the trailer. So yeah, no, I disagree with her. Give me a remake. And also give me new IP.
Okay. Um, Weeb, after reading the article, what was your takeaways after? I mean, like I said, I know it was pretty long, so what were your takeaways after reading this article, and your as it compares to how you feel about the current state of Square Enix?
Um, well, yeah, I'm not sure I would take it as specifically aimed at Square Enix because yeah, it's more of a general feel, I guess, with these publishers going for remakes because that's sort of a known quantity. They have a built-in audience. It's less risky than making something new or making a new entry in the series like Final Fantasy. Um, I see that, and certainly is a trend across the board. Not just with Square. I mean, everybody's doing. I mean, you just literally mentioned, um, Assassin's Creed Black Flag getting a remake. From Ubisoft. So, and yeah, it's no surprise that we're getting excited for it because yeah, those were games we had fond memories of, and now they're gonna be brought back in whatever form, remaster, remade, reimagined. Um, but yeah, I can totally understand from a creative side that you're like, yeah, I do want to do something new because just rethreading the same thing that we've done before, told before, yeah, is not getting those creative juices flowing. So, and yeah, as a gamer myself, I do. While I can appreciate some of these reimaginings and remakes, um, there's also like if I had a choice, like definitely give me something new. Um, like with God of War, we're getting a God of War trilogy remake. Yeah, certainly I'm excited for it, but at the same extent, like, yeah, I'm much more excited for Laufey because it's a, um, it's a new entry in the series, like something that I haven't seen before, don't know how it ends, and there is a tendency to, yeah, overdo it, like fair point indeed with Final Fantasy VII. Like, yeah, they didn't necessarily do this necessarily favors with the remake, the first remake, that basically just covers a third of the game, um, and yeah, I'm also like with one of my favorite franchises, the Yakuza franchise. Like they keep throwing those Kiwamis, those remakes, but I'm also like, yeah, I got 1 and 2, but like 3 was too much for me. It was like, now you're not only just you're remaking something that you literally remastered for PS4, so it still holds up very well, and you start making changes because you're thinking, okay, yeah, uh, we can just do it, um, and that's kind of perhaps also another aspect of it is the sort of the um, yeah, the author's intent, that you're changing something. Yeah, you can call it remake or reimagining, whatever you want, but in the end, you're changing the original work, and you do run the risk that it's going to lose that spark that had, and that's something that I personally find, yeah, somewhat troubling, because it, especially with, and though I suppose it's mostly with remasters where they just so try to then delete or make the original versions inaccessible, and you can only buy the remasters, which doesn't help if the remasters are worse than the original, like with GTA. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a, I wouldn't say worrying trend, but something like, yeah, I think we also have had enough of constantly getting remakes and reimaginings of everything because it hits a point where it doesn't really matter anymore if you like the same with Resident Evil. Like, yeah, I'm very happy for Code Veronica getting a remake or reimagining because that's a game that's in same generation basically of 2 and 3, that certainly is dated enough for it to merit a remake. But like 4, I totally never saw, like, that game still holds up very well, like that didn't need a remake. um and that's a problem in the sense that you're um, you're kind of burning out your developers because they kind of want to work on something else, and you're also diluting your IP in the sense that you're not really moving forward with it and reinventing it. Though Square does have the problem that doesn't really know what to do with the Final Fantasy franchise, and then you're getting you're getting a new entry, but basically it's so made so mainstream, so vanillafied basically that it's not appealing to anybody, right? So that's kind of and losing whatever identity it had, um, which is the flip side of that. Yeah, you can um, make new entries in the series, but at some point you're kind of it's stretched too thin. That's also what I have, what many people have, with, for example, Xbox IPs like Halo or Gears, where at some point, you run out of DS and people stop caring, and now they're good with Gears. They're gonna go back to the very beginning, though. I'm pretty sure they left the last one on a cliffhanger. But yeah, this is something that where you sort of run into the issue. You don't have any great new ideas, so what are you gonna do? Remake or reboot or reimagine a series because that's the only thing you can think of right now, and that's that's the flip side of that. That's the other issue where, like, you need to find a way to make a series relevant again. I mean, I think God of War is a perfect example. Like they after 3 with Ascension, like, nobody asked for that, nobody really wanted it, and they were sort of ran out of ideas with that, like another
Mm-hmm.
prequel just after you had that epic climax of the OG trilogy. And then they let it rest, and then it came back, and they had a great idea of how to continue the story, revamp the gameplay, the one shot, the over the shoulder one shot camera. Um, a different Kratos, different part of his life, different mythology, and it worked. So that's essentially what you want for any of our favorite series IPs, that they find a way to keep it going with something fresh, something new, without diluting it, and without continually trying to remake or reimagine. And yes, sure, I don't mind it as it's an easy way to, like, if you remaster something, a way to make a quick buck out of it without investing a lot of money in it. But as soon as you're hitting the territory of reimagining it, like that's like the Final Fantasy VII remakes. They have the same production values and the same production costs as a mainline entry in the series. But they are arguably more successful because they're based on the most popular entry in the franchise. But I'm also wouldn't count on it that they're gonna have the same success if they keep on doing this with the same with their other entries, even though they're certainly fans of other entries in the series. But it's gonna be you're gonna have you're probably gonna have a smaller fan base, and you're gonna have diminishing returns because at some point people are like, okay, what's the point? Like, you're just gonna retell the same stories over and over again. Can't
Mm-hmm.
we just get something new? You know, yeah. So I agree with the article in the extent that it is kind of a dilemma where we are kind of excited for it, like with Final Fantasy VII. Like, of course, you want to see the conclusion of the story that you already know, but hopefully told differently. But you also want to see something new, and But yeah, what we saw with Final Fantasy 16 is like, yeah, we all played it. We all didn't hate it, but we also were like, yeah, it's not like, yeah, this is this the best that Square has to offer? This is your flagship IP, and yeah, we're not feeling it, and maybe it's also just like with things like Assassin's Creed, you're kind of a victim of your own formula, where you're like, you have created a series where basically, yeah, you're leaving yourself the option or to go in whatever direction you want. You're not stuck to a particular protagonist or a particular story arc that you have to resolve. You can just basically, for Assassin's Creed, it's a time period, the setting, that's the game, that's the story, and for Final Fantasy, it's just the member berries, the particular elements, the summons, the character designs, the commonalities between different worlds that kind of identified as a Final Fantasy style. But other than that, you just have the freedom to make whatever you want, and which is great for the creative aspect, but also at some point you're like, okay, what can we do? Because in the end, you're gonna always fall back to the same archetypes, to the same hero's journey, and constantly trying to one up yourself, constantly trying to reinvent yourself, and that's kind of results also in the possibility of losing your identity, or like, yeah, I mean, you do recognize a Final Fantasy title, but on the other hand, like, if you're not initiated, somebody uh, would have a hard time, telling that the 16, for example, is the 16th entry in the series.
Exactly.
Yeah, while it has very little to do with the rest of the series, so it has its own identity, but it's the same. It's sort of the double that double-sided sword. Like, it's you have you're sort of shackled to that IP, so you can never have like fully your own identity. You do have to keep in all the tropes of the series, but on the other hand, uh, you don't have enough of an identity, because it doesn't offer you something like a consistent world. Like, if everything took place in the world of Final Fantasy VII, you could build on that, and you could continue the story or do a prequel or whatever. But now you're basically just constantly, creating new worlds, and they're good at that. That's I'm not critiquing them for that, but you're also risking the point where people like say like, yeah, I don't really care for this world. I don't really jive with it. I'm not
Yeah.
invested in it. Because I know the next one will be in a completely different world. Has nothing to do with the time I spent, the characters I invested myself in, and yeah, I mean, and to be fair, it doesn't mean that every single game has to be setting up a sequel or has to have a sequel. There are so many great games I played that have a great narrative that are just one off, that just are there, done. You're not gonna get anything else out of it. Like Vanillaware, perfect example. I love that studio, and they have fantastic stories and fantastic characters, but pretty much like they don't really do sequels. They just do their they make the game, make the whatever genre they wanna approach. They have their fantastic hand-drawn art style, and yeah, and that's sort of how you recognize their games. But in the end, like they don't really have anything to do with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works for them, and it's absolutely great. But they're not calling every entry in their series
The same name.
Odin
Yeah.
Sphere, a Japanese edition or something like that, like for
Yeah.
Muramasa. So yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what my 2 cents.
No, yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I mean, the danger in there's good and there's also danger in using uh or risk in using the same name, because people also have a negative stigma with the name Final Fantasy, right? I've
Mhm.
seen several people that have played one, and that's it. They're like, I played that one. It's not for me. I'm done with the series. I don't care how much people
Yeah.
like it, and that's it. Like I literally seen that earlier today, and I'm like, that is fair. And I mean, if you look at the reception of 16 and you're already not a fan, like what exactly is going to make you play that outside of maybe you being, specifically a character action fan, and thinking maybe you'll like the combat. But yeah, I think they're definitely running into potential franchise fatigue, not only with, um, Final Fantasy, but some of the other titles. I think they're getting to their potential finishing point. From what I understand, even with Kingdom Hearts, this is supposed to be the last one. Um, and I mean, I don't really know as far as the story, where that sits for people who are fans of it, because we've discussed how convoluted and crazy the story is. Uh, for that,
No, ap- apparently 3 was supposed to end it, but we're starting a new entry now.
yeah, I don't know anything about that. We'll see. They will say one thing and do another. So, I mean, based on what I've seen, they talked about 4 being the last one. So they've also said Final Fantasy was the last one, part one, and now we got 16 of them. So Square again, you know, Square has a habit
Yeah, this
of
is why I
saying
don't believe
something
this
is the
whole
last.
Kingdom Hearts is gonna be the last one. Yeah.
I think Kingdom Hearts will be the last, depending on how it sells. If they think there's potential for the franchise in the future, then I think they'll revisit whether or not it's another one. But honestly, a lot of their franchises, in my personal opinion, need to be put on ice. To me, they are in danger of looking like Xbox used to with Halo, Gears, and Forza,
Yeah.
but with Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts. Like, again, it's not saying you can't use those and you can't do those in the future, but you're in danger of only being known for that. Like I said, again, with the exception of Team Asano, which is why I keep, bringing them up. Like, they are bringing, new things to literally everything, or, in the Final Fantasy case, kind of giving fans what they wanted, right? Taking even a mobile title, which they've proven they're able to do, right? With Octopath Traveler 0, which was amazing because that was another one, that was previously done that way. So I mean, honestly, I think Team Asano is probably the smartest thing that has ever happened within the company over the last while here. And yeah, like you were saying, we was like, and we've had this discussion, right? How far away do you go, right? Like everybody talks about how much Final Fantasy changes, from one to one, each numbered one. But how far and away do you go from a franchise before you're basically creating a new IP, right? Like, should you, like, at some point you have to guess, like, should you do a new IP? Do you want to do something in such a different direction, that it warrants a new IP? And we've known they've done prior, right? Like it's not like Square. It's not like Square has only ever done Final Fantasy. Most of their really popular titles are not Final Fantasy, outside of it, right? It's like you said, Dragon Quest has been big. Dragon Quest has had multiple entries. Number one, they very much made Dragon Quest like their Mario, right? You've had the Dragon Quest Builders, Dragon Quest Monsters. Even that was a solid departure, right? But they have those different naming schemes on them to indicate that they're not the main line. And I think that is at least definitely served them well. You've had it to a little degree with Final Fantasy, but not as much. Um, and then, like I said, the other entries from them, especially during the PS1 era, Xenogears, Parasite Eve, um, I always forget, Vagrant Story. Again, they've always had a number of titles that they've put out that weren't directly associated with that, and I feel like they've kind of gotten away from that. And I hope that, uh, you know they get reinvigorated with that and work on that. And based on um, what the director of Final Fantasy VII Remake had said when asked, like, does he want to proceed with another remake? And he personally, like you said, stated he doesn't want to get locked into something like that again. He's sure his next work will be with a JRPG, but not something where he wants to get locked into that same vibe. He wants to do something new. And that's kind of where what we were saying is like you can fatigue not only your fans but your creators because they really can't do what they want to do. They're too busy retreading old ground, trying to make it new again. But obviously, I want to get to Morgan as well. Slightly different though, because Morgan, of course, you are newer, but with Team Asano, you are a very much a veteran at this point, and a big fan. Um, so based on your perspective and you coming into JRPGs with Square Enix, your relationship is really particular because you haven't played all the older titles. You don't have that old attachment to a lot of these titles, which honestly I think gives you a unique perspective and one that a lot of people share today. A lot, even people playing the remake, which we played alongside each other. Um, you had we both had similar opinions, right? Which was interesting, right? Because I'm a longtime fan and you are of the franchise, and you were newer, and we were both kind of experiencing remake together. So I guess really for my question, like based on your perspective and your newer viewpoint, how do you feel about the current state of Square Enix? Like from a fan perspective, like are you excited for more remakes? I know you're a big fan of the HD 2D. Like how would you want to see the company go forward to support what you like to see from them?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna sound disrespectful, but honestly, I don't give a fuck what Square Enix does. Like, I don't care for the publisher that much at all outside of Team Asano.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about Final Fantasy, so them doing remakes or going to the next one, they could flip a coin for all I care. I don't care.
That's
Um,
fair. That's a good point.
didn't care for. I play Final Fantasy remake, beat it, didn't care. I was just like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Rebirth got halfway through it, and I was just like, eh, don't really care. Play Final Fantasy 16, beat it, platinumed it. Nah. It was like it was straight, but I mean it was Game of Thrones in Final Fantasy world. Like, okay. Um so honestly, when it comes to the Final Fantasy IP, I like respectfully do not give two shits. Um outside of like Resonance was the only Final Fantasy that ever, as far as like today, has intrigued me. Like, oh my god, I want to play that day one type of shit. Like I played Fantasy 16 day one, but that wasn't
Mm-hmm.
out of like I saw it and oh my god, I had to play it. It was just I played the demo and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I'll give it a try.
Which the demo
Um
honestly pulled the okey doke on us.
yeah,
Because
because then
the rest of
afterwards
the
I
game
was
was
just
not like
like
that.
I was just like, but I was in it to win it, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll beat it.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it. I'm not trying to upset Final Fantasy fans, but I just personally, I don't give a shit about Final Fantasy. I can understand from
Yeah.
a nostalgic point. Like I think Final Fantasy VII, the trilogy, was made for people who have already played Final Fantasy VII and hold it dear in their hearts,
I
and that
agree.
game was made for them. It was nostalgia bait, which is nothing wrong with nostalgia bait. That it works. It just wasn't made for me. I could not give a shit about any like of those. I don't care about Cloud or Tifa or really any of those characters. I was just like, oh, okay. Like
No,
I mean,
see,
maybe would
I
have
agree with
resonated
you
with
though.
me.
I agree with you though because that's the problem to me with it is like fans of Seven are like often fool themselves that like, hey, this is for the new generation of people to play that have never played Seven, and it's like, no, it's not because it's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would have worked if it was just like a one for one remake and it wasn't split into three games.
Yeah.
But like, if you're trying to get somebody new to really like something, I think taking 10 years to tell the whole story is just gonna be like, it's kind of like how I am with like a lot of TV shows nowadays. They take it forever for the
Yep. They
seasons to
take
come
too
up, and
long.
I kind of lose interest by the time the second or third season comes on because it's like Oh, it's 10 years later. I'm like, I don't even remember what the fuck happened in the first 2 seasons. Like, I don't. I gotta rewatch it. It's like it's easier to like obviously to rewatch like a TV show or a movie than it is
Hmm.
to like reinvest 7-8 hours into an actual game and shit. So it's just like I don't know. I just again I don't really care about Final Fantasy like that outside of Resonance. Like if they want to keep doing that and make more HD 2D games, then sure, yeah, I'll be heavily invested. Specifically turn
She
based,
said,
I'll
"Yeah,
be
I'm in
heavily
there.
invested. I'm
I'm
like,
in
oh yeah,
there."
Final Fantasy fan, yeah, let's go. But I'm not a big fan of what they've been doing with the
The main
AAA
line.
sector.
Yeah.
If they want to do an Expedition 33 like Final Fantasy, then I'll be there day one. Absolutely. If they want to bring turn based back to Final Fantasy, yeah, you'll have a customer from with me. But
And
what
that's
they've been
saying
doing with
something
it,
because you don't just play because people who listen to this that don't know you, you play plenty of games that are not turn based. So that's
oh
not
yeah, I mean
yeah,
I'm a
that's not
PlayStation
the
gamer. Like
yeah,
I play action adventure games and indies and walking
exactly.
sims and narrative games and like I play all genres. Like it's not just turn based. It's just like when it comes to JRPG, I'm really into um the turn based gameplay specifically. And I don't know. I just feel like Square, when it comes to their AAA, I don't know. This is again my opinion. You're well within your rights to disagree. This is just me and my gaming opinion. I just don't like the way Square handles action games, at least in the AAA sector.
Hmm.
It just kind of feels. I don't know how to describe it. It just kind of feels.
Well,
Um,
it loses too many other things while focusing overly on that action, the action
Yeah,
portion of it.
it's just kind of unimaginative to me. Like I like the set pieces in 16 were cool. The boss battles, like
Yeah, that's what the things
your
everybody mentions.
the yeah, exactly, like the big fiery boss battle with the oh yeah, oh man, we're climbing up the side of this boss. Oh shit, the music's going ham. Like, that shit was cool. It was cool. But I mean, outside of that, it was just like, okay. Like, I
Yeah,
beat it just cause it was one, it was easy,
Yeah,
and it was just
it
like
was
it just
easy
get
and
it get it done.
we were
And
already in there.
you
Yeah,
know
I'm already
so I
committed. Let
don't
me
know.
finish it.
listening to you talk, this is so frustrating because I said it
Oh,
in the group. No. You misunderstand me. What I mean by that is, I legit want you to experience the real Final Fantasy. Like, Square
I
Enix
mean,
have
to be fair, I
done
mean there's plenty of people who say that this is the real Final Fantasy, so I mean
this, but it's not so. This
that
is
I mean,
not.
but I hear what you're saying. That's your opinion, but I'm just saying a lot of people will disagree with that and be like, this is a perfectly good example of Final Fantasy. So it's like I don't know. I'm again. I'm not heartbroken that I'm not into it. Like there's plenty of other games to play. I don't really care that I'm not part of that. Like, I grew up, my cousins were all Final Fantasy fans. They played it. They would play it in front of me. I was just like, I didn't really care. I
Yeah,
watched them play it, but it didn't really particularly interest me. And obviously now playing the 7 remake, I was just like, uh, and then says Final Fantasy 16, and but I think the bigger picture with me, I mean, I kind of agree with some of the points she's saying. Like I get it, like, but like her, I'm also a victim of falling in love with remakes. Like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. I'm gonna be there day one. Um, I'm still wanting this uh fucking Resident Evil 5 remake. I don't even
oh,
know if they'll ever
absolutely.
do it from Capcom.
Well, and we all
We're,
agree with that. We are part of the problem when it
yeah,
comes to the
they're
ones that we
yeah,
want. Yeah.
right. But I can kind of expound on what her points. Like this is kind of how I feel about when gamers ask for developers to go back to their old IPs. I'm just like, why? They want them to go back to the shit they made in like 2001, 2002 or whatever. And I'm just like, a lot of her points she was making have been what I've been saying about that, where it's like you guys want them to be creatively stunted to stuff that they did 10, 15, 20 years ago. And when you ask for that, that keeps the new and refreshing and creative ideas put on halt. And we have to wait because y'all want to go back to the old shit for us to get new shit. I'm like, I said this tons of
Hmm.
times. I'm like, if Naughty Dog was forever making Crash, All right, we would have never fucking got Uncharted. We would have never got The Last of Us, and we would have never got Intergalactic because you guys want us to
All
be
facts.
stuck in nostalgia all damn day. And I'm like, you guys gotta let these developers cook. You forever want them to be stuck on these 1, 2, 3 IPs, but I love this game from like 20 years. I'm like, I don't give a damn. Then boot up your PS2 and play it then.
I mean,
Like, if
but
you
but
really
see,
want it.
I'm with you though, because honestly, I've stated multiple times I don't want them spending all this time doing remakes, including Xenogears, which is my favorite game of all time. Like, I know people hated this idea because they were talking about, there was a joke about like a remake simulator coming along that like basically you could feed a game into like, you know, basically an AI, and like it would be programmed to like basically just make it look better based on a certain set of parameters and then spit the game out. Like, honestly, I would take that for something like Xenogears because I really don't want them to touch it. Like, if I want you to experience it.
You just wanted it to be ported.
Yeah, I just basically want it ported. Like you've seen the update for Suikoden, right? Suikoden 1 and 2. That didn't take them very long at all, and it still looks like the original. It's just cleaned up in HD. Literally, the sprite work is like the same, the skills are the same, everything. And I don't want them to spend a bunch of time doing that to something like Xenogears because number one, it wouldn't be the same. I never want them to do what they did to Final Fantasy VII to any of their other titles at all. Like, because again, that would take it away. Like, I'm playing Final Fantasy VI for the first time through
Yeah,
the Pixel remaster,
this 3-part
and it's great.
strategy. I really don't know whose idea that was, but
Yeah, I never want that whole super
um,
reimagining thing or whatever
yeah,
they had for
I don't
this.
mind.
Never do
I
that
get it.
again.
There are like things with tech that you maybe dreamed about doing with the game originally, but you couldn't because of the because of where tech was at the time. I absolutely get that, but I'm like, damn, did it need to be done with 3 games though?
Yeah,
Like, I just like at least when it comes to Capcom and the way they remake, they're able to remake while also making new titles into the Resident Evil franchise. Like,
consistently.
they don't skip a fucking beat when it
Yeah,
comes
they
to
haven't
that.
skipped at all.
Like, Resident Evil remake, then we got Resident Evil 9, and now we're about to get Code Veronica next year. So it's just like they are just like they don't stop. Like, yeah, you're getting a remake, but you're also getting something brand new. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Resident
Shoot,
Evil
and we got a new
10 is
IP
announced
with
next year.
Pragmata.
Like,
Yeah, they've been
like
on fire.
as well, like you said, as getting Pragmata, right? Like, they don't, they're not stopped and slowed down by whatever remake they're making. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people get upset, is because a lot of studios, when they're making a remake, it's just like everything's on halt
Everything
because
stops.
we're
Exactly.
all focusing on this remake or remaster. And I'm just like, if your studio isn't set up to do it the way, I'm not saying everything got to be a Capcom, because it comes down to different countries, different policies, the way they work. Work ethic is a big one. It's way different in Japan versus in in the West. Like, completely
Absolutely.
different. Crunch culture ain't really a thing over there. It's like, you work. It is what it is. If you don't, we'll replace you type shit. Like, over here it's like, oh my God, I broke a nail, so I need to take time off. I can't work today. Um, I mean, over dramatic, but it's like we have a lot of protections over here, and it's just like, shit gets slowed down for minimal shit over here in the West. So it's like, like I said, there's a lot of different variables as to why Capcom's able to produce as quickly as they are. But I'm just like, with the cost and the time and the resources it takes to make a lot of remakes, and just, it seems like a lot of publishers are putting it all into the remake, into nothing else while they're making a remake. I'm just like, I would just forget the remake. It's fine.
Yeah, just
Don't worry
don't
about
do
it.
that. Yeah.
Don't even do it. Like, just forget it. Like, it's completely fine. I've said this multiple times on this show, and this doesn't have to necessarily, like I said, do with remixes. This has to do with the nostalgia of going back to old IPs. I'm like, listen, I'm of the purview, the mindset of, give me 2 games. You make a new IP, give me 2 games of that, and you're more than welcome to move on. right?
I agree.
You can give me 1 or 2 Horizons and then move on to something else. Maybe you want to go to make a third one later. That's fine. 1 or 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless it's designed as a trilogy
to be a trilogy. Yeah, I get
which
it.
I get that. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
1 or 2 Spider-Mans. Now they moved on to Wolverine. Great.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I think
that's how
the
I feel. Give me
cadence.
1 or 2. If it's designed to be a trilogy, fine. But then move on. Like I don't want this whole being stuck. Let's make 9 or 10 of this fucking game, and that's all we fucking do. I hate that shit. I hate that shit so much.
And I agree
Like I'm
with
just
you. Even if it's
ready.
a trilogy,
That's why
make another
God of
game
War
in
Le Fay
between.
is like a breath of fresh air to me with Santa Monica.
Santa
Like
Monica.
obviously it's still in the God of War, but it's a new protagonist. So I'm like, oh my god, something new. Finally,
It's brand new though. Like you said, new
something
protagonist,
new.
new
Finally,
world.
like.
Yeah,
Cause it's
I'm
like
excited
I
to explore that
love
world.
God of War, but it's just like, bro, like y'all are so talented, y'all could do something else. Like it doesn't always have to be Kratos. Like we can move on. It's okay. But that's just how I feel. I'm just like, and because I just think because I'm always thinking about that because I'm just like there's so many games that we would have never got that I love if we had just if studios have just stuck to 1 or 2 IPs, right?
Yeah, I agree.
There's just so many creative franchises that I adore right now because the studios decided to break away from this game that everybody was asking for them to do more. Please give us more, please meet. And they're just like, no, we're gonna do something else. And then boom, you got a new franchise you love now because they stuck their neck out and decided to not go with the sure bet and go to something that they had faith in, right? So yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about the whole situation. I don't really care specifically about Square and what the hell they're doing with their IPs when it comes to Final Fantasy. Like, just leave Team Asono alone, and we ain't got no beef, Square. Let Team Asono do what they want. Let them cook, because they're the only ones really making any kind of creative decisions over there at Square, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So let them do what they do because they got a lot of hype around Final Fantasy Resonance right now. Like I'm seeing so many people, oh my god, this is what I wanted for so long. Turn-based is back. Oh shit, Square, thank you. And I'm like, see,
Yeah, the
this is
timeline's
what
been
people
lit.
wanted,
I ain't
bro.
gonna lie.
This
Like
is what
people were hesitant for a second when they heard about the adaptation, but now that the information has come out direct
seen
from
the
team,
gameplay. I've seen some of these boss
yeah.
battles. Seen the art direction looks fantastic. The combat looks great, and everybody's hyped because this is exactly what people wanted from Square. And Square is just they're probably still gonna be stupid enough to be like, still deluded that people actually want turn based and continue to try to make action based a thing because they think that's what the West wants. Well, that's what they're like. Those are ball and gun gamers, so they all want action and they don't want to think. So let's just make an action game where they can just kind of button press the entire time. Like it's just frustrating. But yeah, that's just my opinion on Square as a whole. I don't really care for them outside of Team Asano. So
No, I agree. I think that's a perfect assessment.
And the near games.
Again, it's so painful to hear her say that. Because we all know the Square that we grew up with was phenomenal.
Yeah, sadly they ain't
Let's
that
just
Square no more.
hope. Let's just hope that Final Fantasy 17 they're gonna go back to turn based. Let's just hope.
Well, and to be fair, like right, the other thing for people who just think it's that, right? Like it's not just go back to turn based, it's go back to the mechanics and the foundation that made Final
like
Fantasy
you don't.
the
Yeah, you don't
elemental mechanics
have
that are
I
missing.
feel like they're stuck on
fire.
this
Yeah,
ATP
precisely.
thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that
The
mix
stuff
that they're doing with fucking Final
with
Fantasy
Rebirth.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really particularly care for it. But that seems like they really
Which
like
one?
because they
They
think it's like a
really like
mixture.
that.
It's a mixture of the old and the new, and it's great. And I think, oh god, they're gonna put that in fucking Final Fantasy 17. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
I like it better than 16 system, but I don't love it. Like, again, people keep trying. Like, don't even get me wrong; they're not the only ones doing hybrid systems. Like, and largely, I don't like the other hybrid systems either. Um, the one of the prime examples, which I don't think anybody has played them yet in here. But yeah, the Trail series. Yeah, so Cold Steel is all like fully right, but specifically Trails in the Sky first. Um, has a turn-based system, but it also has where you could basically change it entirely to action. And honestly, it's one of the most polarizing weird things I've ever controlled in a game, because
Yeah.
certain skills are clearly made to be done while you're in the action combat, and then they don't really do well in the turn base. And then certain ones, it's like it's clear that it's meant to be used in the turn base, and it works really well there because of the way the targeting system is and some of the other stuff. So it's like, and so like I get that some people, they grasp it just fine and they like it, but again, it's one of those things where I don't know, you start doing too much, like there's certain things start to fall apart, right? Like if that's why I say, like, if you really
Yeah.
design like a system from the ground up, it's kind of like what we talked about, right? Devil May Cry, right? Like let's be real. Somebody said something the other day that made complete sense to me. Final Fantasy 16 is diet Devil May Cry. That is a perfect way to describe that, because it is missing a lot of the
I've been
key
saying that from the
intricacies.
get-go. Heck,
Yeah,
it
like
was
it's missing.
I said it. Devil May Cry 1 is better than 16. I said it.
Yeah, but like the main problem that people don't get when people
Yeah.
say that, because it's like they say it like they think it's like a joke. It's not that, it's missing a lot of the things that make great character action games. Like people were like, no, it's got all these
Yeah.
detailed mechanics and blah blah. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It is extremely shallow. I was like, all the crazy stuff and the combos and stuff that people do in something like Bayonetta or whatever are like vastly superior to the combo system and stuff
Yeah.
that's in
Like,
16.
yeah, that's why I'm so fucking excited for Luffy. Luffy, the very first second we saw the girl combat, she was doing mad combos, and then when she got her weapon, she was doing mad combos as well. Like, that's what I wanted 16 to be, and it failed miserably. At first, like, the thing is, if you want, like, I don't know if I'm the only one here, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth have some of the best combat when it comes to gameplay, in my opinion. I just love that combat. But that's the thing, I don't want for Final Fantasy to have this combat. Branch it off, name it something different, and I will take this combat any day of the week over 16. And with Revelation, that's one of the reasons why I want to play Revelation for the combat. I want to see how Vince is gonna play, how what's his name, Sid is gonna play at. Also, how the new moves are going to be. Like, it's a combat that drew me toward Rebirth. Not the story. The story was trash. Not gonna lie. So it is frustrating to see what Square Enix is doing right now.
Yeah, I agree with something like Josh was saying in the chat, that they definitely need some other solutions. I'm hoping they find a solid double A solution, the way that they found a solution as far as what Team Asano does, someone that can do something without these crazy budgets. Because like I said, I don't know what's ballooning them this way, and they definitely need to work on that. Like I said, I know that they did meet and have some extensive discussions with the Expedition 33 team and whatnot. So,
Oh yeah, but
hopefully they've learned something. So,
I read somewhere that this Final Fantasy has been worked on for 7 years or something like that.
so they said the idea started. They didn't necessarily actually
Okay,
start
the
working on it.
idea.
Yeah,
Okay, so and then they got the push, I think, from how said
yeah, and then
Expedition
Octopath
33.
Traveler 0 did really well in transitioning, and then they basically started that project with a similar project with Brave Exvius when they knew they'd start to shut it
Are
down.
they still owned by Square Enix?
What do you, is who?
Timasano.
Team Asano is owned by them, but they have what Josh is talking about. If you're reading what he's talking about outsourcing, certain parts of their games and stuff are outsourced for specific things. So one of the teams that was used as a main outsource was purchased by another company. That's what we talked about a couple episodes back when they were first purchased. I forget who the company that is that bought them. Maybe it was Embracer Group or something. I can't remember. Somebody bought one of the main teams that worked on Octopath. But I mean, it doesn't seem to have affected them. So, and that team still does do outsourcing work. They were just brought in to do primarily first party stuff for that studio. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but there's a bunch of companies that are involved. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, either way, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, they find a good solution to manage some of this stuff. Because yeah, these crazy budgets can't continue. Because they eventually they're gonna run out of people to cut. Like in order to create better operating costs, you can't just keep cutting 300 plus employees.
The the problem with what Square Enix is doing, and I'm gonna cut up after that, is they're just doing way too much, way too much fluff, and they just don't seem to get it with the amount of mini games and with this hybrid gameplay where you have turn based and you don't have turn based. Like stick to one, ditch the other, and scale back on the fluff, and you got a solid game.
Yeah, I don't know what uh, I don't know what the issue is with all the extra, the like 400 mini games or whatever and all this other stuff. Like I don't understand what their obsession
Yo,
is with that, but
it's crazy,
it
and
is.
they're not gonna slow down apparently with
Yeah,
Revelation. So we're
yeah,
gonna see what's gonna happen with that one.
we will. Yeah. So moving on to our next topic here. Obviously the other big news, the main thing that's been going on lately, with Xbox, basically either in negotiation or shutting down, multiple studios. The two we know for sure, are Ninja Theory and Double Fine. The last report that I personally saw, said that Ninja Theory was unable to negotiate and is definitely being shut down. Um, but I mean, like we said, anything could kind of happen, um, with some of these titles. Double Fine, I'm assuming, is going to be just kind of let go in their current state, mainly just because Tim Schafer is like, the darling of the industry.
I,
So,
I I think they had a clause in the contract that if Microsoft wants to close them down, they have to spin them off.
oh, well, there you go. So apparently Tim was ahead of the curve, kind of knowing what was coming. So it looks like they'll probably at least get away, with the company intact. Um, Another rumor, about the next on the chopping block is potentially, what's left of Arcane, because obviously they shut down the other Arcane studio prior, who are supposed to be, this team is supposed to be working on, Blade, which we've not really seen a lot of. And evidently working on a game or having an announced game doesn't really matter because Team Ninja is definitely in trouble, or not Team Ninja, but Ninja Theory. Sorry. Um, but yeah, this is amidst the Xbox reset. As Asha has said, there'll be some unpopular decisions. Um, obviously following, the Xbox Fan Fest, which again I thought was hilarious because it was just like people just didn't see it coming. Um, they were whining and dining, and I mean, they spent at least hundreds of thousands, uh, if not, a million plus, between all these parties and you know,
And the Series Access, limited edition.
yeah,
Yeah,
they gave away roughly about 300 plus of these limited edition, Xboxes, which, and to me, like, you can't do that at one fan fest and not the other. So like ultimately they're going to be spending, $2+ million on just giving away, these 25th anniversary editions. If they're going to continue that into these several other cities, where they are going to do fan fests, um, I don't know, man. It's just like it's a lot of nonsense
Wait, they're
going on.
doing. Wait, you're telling me they legit this tone deaf? They're doing another fan fest while at the same time closing. Yo, they are. Yeah, no,
They
nothing. Let
announced.
me shut up.
You don't remember that they announced multiple cities for FanFest prior to the first one taking place during Summer Games Week. They announced multiple cities,
I
including one being
assumed that
Tokyo.
it would have. I assumed that it would have, not per se dried up, but like being cancelled because of because of what's happening. But
I mean,
apparently
as
not.
of right now, they have not canceled anything. So they're still
Damn.
supposed to be going to these other cities
Yo,
for
like
FanFest.
how how shitty is it for the developers though? Like the update might be sounding like a motherfucker with this. I don't know. It's weird for me. It's legit weird.
I mean, it is weird to be having a FanFest while you're gutting studios, and you're clearly, trying to get your business strategy situated. And you essentially made some knee-jerk reactions during, uh, your prior FanFests where, the Xbox console exclusivity, which at the soonest was apparently decided a month prior. Despite them trying to say they never had any plans for PS5, their literal own podcast, showed up with uh, a PS5 logo on the gears, so again, they like it's not like that came from someone else's show and they threw it on there as an accident. Like, I mean, there's clearly things that were in motion that were changed last minute, and then also obviously Clockwork Revolution being pulled as well for this quote unquote console exclusive because they're not really exclusive. They're just games not on PlayStation. Like Logic said,
As of right
GNOP.
now.
Yeah, as of right now, at least. Um, and essentially the word on the street is as well with those is, of course, if they fail to meet expectations, then it kind of gives them the green light to be like, look, we tried exclusives, we gave it a shot, and you still, even with that, you still got people calling for more exclusives. They're thinking they should pull some of the other titles that are set to go over there. I mean, I know somebody was even joking earlier about Forza Horizon 6, and I was like, again, and this was an Xbox fan, and I'm like, are you guys even remotely taking this situation seriously? Because like, I feel like everybody else is taking the situation seriously at Xbox and their financials and what's going on and what they need to do to get, basically get this place stable. And it's like a lot of Xbox fans, I feel like, are not really taking the situation seriously when you're still joking about pulling titles that will be significantly profitable on PlayStation, as proven by Forza Horizon 5 selling almost near 6 million, 6 million sales within like a month and change. So yeah, I don't know really what Xbox could do in the meantime that's gonna make any sense. Apparently, I mean, things really haven't really started. Heads really haven't started to roll. The layoffs really haven't really started to kick in yet. We haven't gotten like the official numbers about who's gonna go, who's not. Xbox directly, is supposed to get hit as well. And this is supposed to be that reset, that Asha spoke about literally like 2 days after the FanFest event. And it's just like, again, I know a lot of people are saying, they obviously clearly kind of tone deaf to the reception and a lot of what's going on, but they're claiming like this is basically necessary in order to make them successful. The other question is obviously what's going to happen with Game Pass. Are they going to need to pull other titles because, a lot of these titles are still being cannibalized by Game Pass sales. It just started with Call of Duty, which was obviously a big issue, which we stated, right? Again, all these things are things that were stated on our podcast, on other podcasts, which people didn't want to believe. They thought, no matter what, Microsoft is just going to continue to eat the cost. And then, of course, in the midst of all this, we had Satya Nadella stating that they've been subsidizing gaming for far too long in the Xbox division, and they need to work on now creating a sustainable business. Which again, we tried to tell people that it clearly wasn't, even though people like to be contrary to facts, which were evident by the financials and whatnot. But yeah, the state of Xbox right now is in a interesting place. I personally, you know, I keep hearing this. They're like, oh, all these PlayStation fans just want Xbox to go away or this, that, and third. I wish Xbox was successful, but I can't make it that. Not on my own, And I keep seeing Xbox fans saying it's not their job to help Xbox be a successful console or to be a successful brand. But I don't know whose job it is if it's not the people who call themselves fans of the platform. Um, but yeah, they clearly hold too many IPs and whatnot to just simply shut things down. So hopefully, the hope with all this is obviously that they get it together. But yeah, the state of Xbox is in an interesting place right now, and there's a lot going on. Hopefully, some of the stuff that Morgan was telling me doesn't happen, because like we said, we don't really know who's on the chopping block. Um, you know, State of Decay 3 is obviously the game that we're looking forward to probably the most, outside of Fable. I'm pretty sure, obviously, a company like something like Fable is definitely fine with that team having released Forza Horizon prior, which is super successful. Um, but yeah, quite a few people could still be, on the block here. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Based on everything that's been happening, these studios getting cut. I mean, are we really surprised? Morgan, how are you feeling about this?
Um, well, I'm of two minds of it. There's my gamer side, and then when you look at it from like the business side, um, gamer me is very frustrated. Like, I really, and you forgot to mention Compulsion Games is definitely on the chopping block. They're one of the ones that are definitely probably going to get axed.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed South of Midnight. I 100%ed it on Xbox. I bought it on PlayStation, platinumed it on PlayStation. I'm one of the few who actually really enjoyed Hellblade 2. I 100% of that on Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like it like so gamer me is very, very upset about this whole situation. I really enjoyed these studios work, and obviously Double Fine is beloved, with Psychonauts 2 and the mini games that they've made. So it's just like I'm frustrated that they were put into this position. Um because it's quite honestly not, and I mean, you got to follow me here. It's not broadly their fault. And what I mean by that is when Phil Spencer acquired these studios back in 2018, at least when it came to Compulsion and Ninja Theory, this was at a time when Xbox really didn't have any studios. This was like the big announcement during their showcase about them bringing a bunch of studios into the fold, because everybody was tired of the whole Halo, Gears, and Forza, Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? So this is when he was bringing up a bunch of studios to try to kind of fill that gap. And that's kind of what these studios were for Xbox. They were the gap fillers because they didn't really have any games over there besides, again, the big three. So they needed some games to kind of fill in the holes, right? And I think Phil, when he was looking around for studios, he was looking for studios, one, that were probably cheap, and two, he believed that could get a game out quick.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree.
neither of these neither of these things turned out to be facts with either of these studios. Um, Compulsion taking 7 years to put out a fucking double A game that supposedly cost $100 million, being South of Midnight. And then you got Ninja Theory taking like 6 years for their game, and God knows how many millions of dollars to, with their expensive state of the art mocap studio, and, continuously flying that fucking dev team out to Greenland every other fucking month. Hey guys, we're back in Greenland taking pictures of mountains and shit. Oh yay, aren't you guys excited for Hellblade 2 type shit?
Right.
Like, it was just like there was a lot of mismanagement happening. But at the end of the day, I think Phil was a type of leader where he would just kind of let the studios just do what they wanted. Like I don't think he was one to be like, kind of put the foot down and be like, no, we need a game to be, we need Hellblade 2 to build off of what Hellblade 1 was. We needed to have more combat, more action, more fighting, more actual gameplay. And I think he was just like, no, just do what you want. And then we need somebody to put the foot down on South Midnight. This game should not be taking you 7 years. It's a AA game. It's only like 8 to like 10 hours. It should not be taking you this long and this much resources. But he's just like, no, just do whatever you want. Like, and because he and Matt Booty, because Matt Booty is still and is in charge of the first party output, refused to kind of manage as their job entails. The studios were kind of just left to their own devices to do what they want and waste time and resources, which has now led to their ultimate demise by Xbox. And it's just like, again, we always go back to like the example of Shu when he went to Santa Monica and he, kind of kicked Corey in the ass and was just like, this is not it. You need to fix this. Like, what I'm seeing, I'm not liking. Get it together, right? And from that, we got God of War 2018, which was the game of the year that year and a lot of people's game of the generation for the PS4. So it's like, you need people who, yes, obviously love the art and love the direction that these developers like to do, but you also need them to rein these people in, because at the end of the day, they're artists, and if you let artists go, they'll just go. They'll keep going forever. They need structure. Okay, they need
Yeah, I
somebody to be
agree.
like, okay,
That's what
these are
directors
the
and producers are
deadlines.
definitely for. If they're not
Yes,
doing their
these are the
job, it'll get out of
deadlines.
hand.
I know you want this. I know you want to add that, but we got to confine this shit. This shit cannot take 7 years for your vision. Okay, because y'all want to change your vision every other week. Okay, we got to reel it in a little bit. Let's get it coming into reality. That's what the job's supposed to be. That's what Shu did for Corey. It was like, reel it in a bit. Okay, get this shit together. Okay, let's tighten it up. All right, and that's what Xbox needs. And I don't know if they have anybody over there to do that, because Matt's still there and he let all these studios get away with that shit. So I'm kind of confused as how Matt Booty still has his job, because it was his job to rein in first party and make sure that their output was good and the cadence of releases were good and they weren't wasting resources and time and money. And yet he still has a job. He got promoted, in fact. So it's like the people
Yeah,
who
that
are
man
the
failing
ones
upwards,
that are
crazy.
causing the issues are, the shit always falls up, right? Like that's what they always say, right? And it's just like he gets promoted, but the people who were just following orders get the boot, right? Um, it's sad, but like I said, that's the gamer side of me. But then I look at the business side of it, and it's like, again, you have Compulsion and South of Midnight spending way too long on games that are not profitable at all. Like we all know, South of Midnight really didn't move the needle for Xbox,
It
right? It didn't
didn't,
move
and
the
it
needle
was
for Game
apparently
Pass.
$100 million, which is crazy.
Yeah. Hellblade 2 didn't move the needle for Xbox, didn't move the needle for Game Pass. To most people, it was just a glorified UE5 tech demo, right? Like very pretty, very nice, but essentially a walking sim with not much else, right? Nice narrative, nice audio design, really great audio design. Great tech when it comes to the fidelity and the facial animations and things of that nature. But as far as the game goes, not so much. And then we lead into that with the Xbox showcase, where Ninja Theory is surprisingly to everyone present, right? I don't think anybody expected Ninja Theory to be there. They just released Hellblade 2 in 2024. They had the PS5 port in 2025. So it was like, they got, there's time there between them for them to cook onto whatever their next project is. So nobody was expecting to see them there. And then they show up. And it's a game called Senua. And it's basically everything that everyone asked for when it came to what people wanted for Hellblade 2. There's action, there's combat, there's actual gameplay, right? It seems that they've listened to the feedback from the fans and they have implemented it into this next game. And then not even a week later, we hear that they're on the chopping block And the reason this game was present at the Xbox showcase was to present it to potential investors for them to be interested in purchasing said game. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm in mixed feelings of this. Whether this is like dirty as hell or this is very helpful. Like I switch back between the two feelings because I'm like, in one, I'm like, that's nice of them to present it so that they can at least have a chance. But in the other, I'm just like, did Ninja Theory even know that they were on the chopping block? Because no one's been able to
Yeah,
answer the
I feel
fact,
like they
and a
didn't
lot
know.
of this, yeah, a lot
I don't think
some of the
anybody knew.
articles have alluded to the fact that they didn't know. So I'm just like, so you just let them get excited about the potential of releasing this game on all platforms just to be like, oh yeah, by the way, that nice trailer that we just allowed you to show the Xbox showcase. Yeah, that means diddly squat. Get the fuck out. Like, like I'm just like, again though, in Xbox fashion, they always do something cool like a showcase, and then God, for whatever reason, right after they're like, and here's the shit, like consistently stepping on rakes, like of their own making at that. Like, because you didn't even have to say anything, bro. Like, you could have just let this shit, you could at least let Xbox fans marinate in, the happiness of a showcase for at least like a month. But again, Xbox's end of their financial fiscal year is on like June. It's like the end of June. It's like June 30th. So they have this bad luck of where their showcases align right when the fiscal year ends. So they have some really cool news, really cool trailers, games being announced, and then the news of like layoffs, studio closures, games canceled. Because if you remember, last year around the same time, Xbox Showcase, yeah, cool, yay. Oh yeah, a couple weeks later, Perfect Dark canceled. Okay, Initiative done. Everwild,
Yeah, that did happen
that
like
Project
that.
Blackbird. Project Blackbird for the Elder Scrolls thing, yeah, that's gone. Like, they're consistently like, here's something good. Okay, now here's the pie in your face. Like, it's just so annoying because it's like, this is the month that we should be like celebrating the E3 of games, where we've gotten all these trailers and all this good news, and oh, all these games are coming up, and oh look, Xbox got an exclusive again. But then immediately afterwards, like, she didn't even let the ink dry, and it was just like, fuck this. All these studios are up on the chopping block, and guess what, it's not just those three. There's a lot more coming. Like, we'll probably hear about it more as the weeks come, because again, the fiscal year ends on June 30th, so that's the end of June into July is when we're gonna get the final details of the fates of these studios, who's gonna stay, who's gonna get the chopping block, and who got bought out. That's when we'll hear all this stuff. And it's like, they're talking about it's about to be a bloodbath out here, and I'm just like, like, but I can't. At the end of the day, I really can't even blame Asha like that, because she's honestly cleaning up Phil's mess. Phil let these studios run rampant, let them do whatever the fuck they wanted, and now, the bill has come due.
Like we said it
Amy
would.
Hood. Yeah, I said, I said, when I saw those financials last year, I said, people are gonna lose their jobs, bro, because these numbers are terrible. These numbers are fucking terrible. And then right after I said that, Phil got quote unquote retired. Sarah left, and then Asha came in, and now the she's like the Grim Reaper coming up here, slashing all these studios, like the price has to be paid. Somebody's got to pay the bill. Amy Hood is sitting up there with the long ass receipt saying, look, because Amy Hood don't give a shit about games. She doesn't give a shit about creativity. She doesn't care about any of this. At the end of the day, she came from like Sachs and Goldman, the fucking banking industry. All they give a shit about is making sure that that their numbers aren't in the red. That's
Yep.
all she cares about. And she doesn't care if she got to ask half the Xbox studios to do it. She all she cares about is making sure the shareholders are happy. That's at the end of the day. And shareholders don't also do not give a fuck about games. They just want to make a profit. They don't care what you need to do it. They don't care how many people you need to lay off and how many games you need to cancel, how many studios you have to close. They just want their money. Okay. And this is why we're seeing this huge wave. And just it's all gonna come at once. We're gonna see a couple of studios close, but we're gonna see a whole lot of layoffs. And even from studios that are supposedly doing good, because they're talking about the Forza team getting layoffs too. even though even though they just released one of the best selling games probably of the year, and one of definitely the best selling game of Xbox. And it's just like, nobody's safe. No, like, and I'm saying, how do you work in an environment where you are consistently nervous about the fact that you may not have a job next week? Like that cannot be good for you. Be like, yep, gotta clock in and make this game, but let me not get too enthused about this because I may not have a job in 2 weeks. Like, I don't.
Yeah, the Forza team
It's
getting layoffs is crazy work.
it's just, they got it. Like, when she said this, they had that 3% margin. I was like, oh yeah, it's done. Like, a lot of people got to go because that is an insanely low number right now. PlayStation's sitting at a 12.5%, and I think Nintendo is like at a 18 to 20%, and then here comes Xbox at a fucking 3%. Like, this shit is it's honestly kind of worse than what I thought it was at Xbox. I thought they were at least at like a 8 or a 9, but they're at a fucking 3. And then you got Jason Schreier talking about, like what I said, like the reason that Microsoft and Xbox, got all these suits again. We're just, the reason that these games like Hellblade and Hellblade 2 and South of Midnight aren't like, gameplay heavy and, what quote unquote the gamers want and things like that. It's because Microsoft and Xbox supposedly just wanted games that were good for Game Pass and good for the cloud. Like, and if you play on the cloud, you need like easier games, gameplay heavy games, with the input latency and things like that don't really work well on the cloud, but games that are quote unquote walking sims work very good on the cloud. So you got Hellblade 2 with not much gameplay. Hey, that's a great cloud game. That helps us with the cloud. That helps us with Game Pass. And that's what Jason Schreier is saying, that that's why a lot of these games aren't, kind of quote unquote what gamers want, because they're thinking less about the sales and what works best for Game Pass and the cloud. At least that was when Phil was in charge. I obviously don't know what's Asha's new how she wants the games to work for the system. But with her coming back and saying she wants exclusives, it seems like she cares more about the sales and the platform now. But that's to be seen, right? A lot of words coming from the Xbox leadership right now of, they're straight up lying, with Aaron Greenberg talking about, we never had a PS5 port, we never pulled it last minute. I'm like, sir, if you develop a game for more than 5 years and you pull it at the last month of like, just a month ago, a couple months before the game is supposed to come out, I count that as last minute. Like, you're trying to be a smart ass and being like, well, it wasn't technically last minute. No, it was last minute. Like, he even deleted the tweet because he knew he was on some fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sitting there with the semantics. And I'm just like, all of this is like, makes you question again Xbox, and again lowers that trust threshold, because now every time like Nate was saying, how I was talking about, I don't even know if State of Decay 3 is going to come out, because now every time Xbox has a showcase or something, now we're going to wonder, okay, which trailers did they show or actual games they're coming out, and which ones were for potential buyers. Which ones were just put out there so that, hey, maybe somebody will save this studio because we're about to close it. Like, I'm just like, you can't trust anything they fucking say. And I'm pretty sure Asha and Matt Ball, they know this. They know that this is coming across as negative. This is coming across as bad publicity, which is why they're trying to quote unquote save these studios, and we're trying to give them a chance for potential buyers. And like, at the end of the day, people are still gonna lose their jobs, even if they get bought out by somebody else, and even if they can, get saved in some way. Whoever buys them is gonna, gut that studio. Like, they're not gonna keep all the people on board. Like, it's just, regardless of what the fate of these studios are, people are still going to lose their jobs. And it's just like, I just can't help but look at Xbox and being like, I don't know. I don't really know what to think of you, because then you have Matt Booty again. Like, I was pointing this out. Like, he said initially in his interview with Asha when she first got on board, and people were interviewing her about what is it that you expect to do, like what are you doing with Xbox, what's your plan essentially. And when Matt answered a question, because he was in the interview with her about like how they feel about smaller titles, and he was like, oh yeah, the Kilms and things like that. Those are the games that we need in order to bolster our Game Pass. And every big game starts as small, so we need these small titles. And then not even 3 months later, he is literally killing the studios that he swore he needed, because he named South of Midnight too. So it's
Yeah.
like, again, one of Xbox's biggest problems, the leadership specifically, is they won't shut the fuck up. They continuously say things that are then quoted later as a fucking gotcha, because they have to reverse course. Like, oh yeah, it's great because we love smaller games. Axe all the small studios. Oh yeah, this is just 4 games. It's not, PlayStation players don't look for anything else to come. Okay, so yeah, there's no red tape. Yeah. Like, it's just consistently saying things and then having to reverse course because it's oopsie, policy change. And I get it. Business changes, policy changes, the environment of gaming is always consistently fluctuating. But the reason you don't see Nintendo and PlayStation catching a foot to the ass and like, oh, they stepped on a rake because they said something different, is because they don't fucking talk. They don't say anything unless there has something to be said. And it's usually at a financial meeting with like the Washington Post or Bloomberg or something, like, or it'll be in a town hall with the actual employees. They don't really talk to the
they're not
gamers like
replying
that.
to fanboys on Twitter.
They're not going on Twitter and saying, hear ya, like consistently just talking and talking and talking. And it's like, when you have so many interviews and talking points, people can just snip shit out and be like, wait a minute, you said the complete opposite like a week ago in this interview with Washington. You said this different on this other interview with Tom Henderson. You said that something else in this other interview with with this other fucking article. It's just like they set themselves up to be taken advantage of and to have a fucking gotcha moment. And it's just so annoying that they won't shut the fuck up. And that's the problem. I don't think they're going to shut the fuck up. I think she's going to keep talking, and she's going to keep saying things, and she's going to keep replying on Twitter. And I'm just like, all you're doing is making things worse. Like that, I thought Phil finally learned his lesson when he stopped talking to people on Twitter, right? But we know the main reason he stopped talking to people on Twitter is because he knew he was doing stuff that upset the Xbox fan base. Like, he stopped talking around the time that they announced their just 4 games situation. Because at that point he knew if he was going to be on Twitter, people were going to fry him. Xbox fans were going to be pissed off. Why are you putting games on PlayStation? Blah blah blah. So he kind of disappeared into the ether and got off of Twitter, and went to like the blue sky safe space. But here comes Asha, she knows that she's about to be Santa Claus, bringing people what they want with exclusives and logo changes and capitalizations to the Xbox fucking name. And oh, look, achievements, look, I put this little cute little soundscape on achievements now. And oh, look, you can customize your background of your Xbox. Look, oh, look. And I'm like, all that shit I've been telling Nate, I was like, all this shit that she's doing, she's just building up a shield so that when the bad news finally comes, which is this whole situation of this wrecking ball through Xbox Studios, she can have this safe pillow across her now, because she can say, yes, it's terrible that all these studios are going going to be closed, or games going to be canceled, people going to be laid off. But look at all the other stuff that I got for you, right? She was on the stage. How about those exclusives? Trying to get people hype, like, trying to build up the all of the positive PR that she can, so that when the negative comes, there's still a little bit of positivity there to kind of safeguard her from any kind of negative blowback. Like, well, I would be upset with Asha, but look at all the other stuff she did. She changed achievements for us. She put out that little Reddit post and asked us what we want with exclusives. She gave us Gears exclusives. I can't be mad at her. It's great. I was like, her PR team is good. They made sure that she had good capital enough so that when this bad storm came through, she would be okay. Like, there's enough good things that she's done that people won't be upset at her, right? Because I'm seeing this narrative, like, where this is Phil's fault. This is all Phil's fault. I'm like, damn, the guy that y'all deemed like the emperor of fucking Xbox, that y'all hold and loved so damn much, is now the enemy number one. Because I saw him saying, oh, this is Phil's fault. This is Phil's fault. This is Phil and Sarah. Oh my God. It's Phil, Sarah, and Satya, bro. This is all them. And I'm just like, y'all switched up on Phil immediately, because I wouldn't have seen this a year ago. A year ago, it was, don't talk about Phil. He's the greatest thing to ever happen to gaming. He's the greatest thing to ever happen to Xbox. He saved Xbox. Anybody who hates him hates gaming type. That was the vibe. And now it's fuck Phil and everything he represented. It's so interesting how there's been a complete 180 within the Xbox fan base. But it's just, this whole thing, again, just goes to show that you can't honestly trust anything these fucking executives say. They're fighting back on this whole thing of, we're not gonna revert on exclusives. These games are gonna stay exclusive, and they might. I don't know. I don't fucking work for Xbox, but again, you can't trust that, because they've been having a consistent pattern of going back on what they've said. So it's like, you can't be upset that people don't trust your word, because that's what Xbox is essentially known for. They're known for saying something and then doing the complete opposite. So people, that's something that they're going to have to rebuild. They're going to have to rebuild that trust, and it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of good quality exclusives. That's number one, right? Because they said they're going to have a cadence of a couple of exclusives a year. So I'm like, so are you not going back to full exclusivity? It sounds like it's just going to be, a game here and there will be exclusive, but otherwise, we're going to keep it multi-platform. And I think a lot of that will be dictated by how well Gears does, and how well Fable does on PS5 and things like that,
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm sure I already know. Yeah, because I already know Forza 6 is going to sell great on PlayStation. But I think a lot of it will be determined with what Fable does, because it's their kind of first, AAA single player type game to come to PlayStation, and PlayStation is the home of that. So it's like, okay, so how well will this type of game do on the PlayStation platform? And I expect it'll do pretty well, especially if it rates really well and people really like it, right? But yeah, this whole situation has just been so fucking funny to me, because I'm like, bro, they couldn't even give the showcase its chance to shine, right? And I'm not even really sure who the hell is going to be buying these studios. Like, who the hell is getting Ninja Theory? Who's getting Compulsion? I don't see either of those studios really getting the help. Like, look, we're in a kind of a drought when it comes to publishers who are willing to fund games, especially expensive ones. I mean, we can look at examples like Don't Nod just came out like a couple weeks ago and said that Tencent's essentially cutting them off funding, right? They're going around to other publishers looking for funding, because the publisher who holds like the majority stake in their studio, I think Tencent holds like 40-some%. They said, we're good, we're not funding your next game. Right? Because I think their last game, and I don't think it sold very well. I think it rated pretty good, but I don't think it sold very well. The Lost Records game.
Yeah.
And these are the people who created Life is Strange, right? A beloved IP by millions of people, but big publishers aren't trusting them. And then you got fucking NetEase pulling funding from Game of Dragons, right? Negoshi Studio, like one of the most prolific creative directors out there, right? Created the Yakuza franchise, right? He is beloved by everyone, and even he can't get funding. They essentially closed down the studio, and Gang of Dragon is just lost to the ether now, because no publisher wants to publish this game. Apparently, he said that apparently they wanted or needed $45 million extra to finish Gang of Dragon, and NetEase was like, we're good. No, thank you. And they pulled the funding, and now the game is dead. And that's from a prolific developer who's made tons of hits. And publishers are just like, nah, we're good. No, thank you. So to think that somebody will probably come to and save Compulsion or save Ninja Theory, like, it's possible, Highly unlikely though. Because I'm just like, look at all the other studios that are begging for help and money and here, please publish this game, and games that I essentially I think Ink of Dragon would have been an absolute smash hit.
Yeah, I think
And
so. It looked really
publishers
good.
are just like, no. Like I was surprised PlayStation didn't try to come in there and be like, yeah, we'll finish it. We'll help you.
Yeah, I definitely would have
But
scooped that up as PlayStation.
yeah, I would have. Because that looks like it's gonna be great. But
PlayStation is not what
nobody
it
came
used to
through.
be.
Nobody came through. And this just makes me thankful that gaming started when it did. Because imagine gaming starting today and Naughty Dog starting off with Crash and Crash not being successful on its first run, and then that studio closing because the publishers thought, oh,
Yep.
no, you didn't do good enough. Right? How many games failed within studios before they got to the pedigree that they are now?
Yeah.
Right? Uncharted 1 didn't do that great. But they got the second chance, right? Like, it's just like
'cause Uncharted 2 is amazing.
Exactly. And then they completely skyrocketed off. They learned a lesson from the first and they took the lessons and they completely killed it with Uncharted 2. Imagine Uncharted 1 releasing and PlayStation's like, oh, it didn't do well. Nope. They treat it kind of like a bend, how fucking Days Gone didn't do good. Oops, you didn't do good. Nope, no thank you. You're done. Like, and then we wouldn't get the games that we got today. That's what I'm saying. That's why I agree with Matt Bowie, what he was saying, where we have to nurture the small games in order to get them to the point. We have to nurture the Crash Bandicoots so that we can get to an intergalactic. But the problem is publishers don't want to nurture anymore. They don't want
really
to
don't.
give studios chances to
But
start
that
off
makes no
small
sense.
and build and build and build. And then they finally get their reputation to go from Crash to Jack and Dexter to Uncharted to The Last of Us and then to Intergalactic. They continuously building upon what they've learned from the last IP to get to the point of that high pedigree. But they don't want to wait because it costs money, it costs time. Development time is too fucking long now, taking 5 to 7 years where you're spending multiple tens to sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't want to invest that because there's no guarantee of success. And then imagine waiting on a developer with a perfect example with Hellblade 2. You wait 7 years, you put in multiple millions of dollars. These people have a state-of-the-art mocap studio. Like, that's how they're getting their games to look as good as they are. Like, in-house crazy technology that's in Ninja Theory. And then they release the game and it doesn't do anything. Like, all this time, all this money that you gave this studio, and it didn't move the needle at all. Like, consistently delaying it. Like, oh, it's supposed to release in 2022. Got delayed again. Oh, got delayed again. Oh, it's finally here. And people were like,
like, that's it? Like,
that's all?
Yeah.
I waited like 5, 6, 7 years for this game. Like, this is it? Like, publishers aren't willing to roll that dice again. Like, that's what I'm saying. I get it from the business side because it's like, you wasted almost a decade and you didn't produce anything like noteworthy that pushed the needle for the time and investment and money that we gave you. So yeah, you got to go. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it from two different angles. Like, the business side is cold, but it's like, you can't consistently foot the bill for these studios, which is why I'm telling you, like, a lot of the creatives, when it comes to being a part of these AAA publishers, they're going to get axed. Like, Asha already said they're trimming, essentially, kind of a hard term, but they're trimming the fat of Xbox into this lean, mean AAA machine, essentially, where they're only going to be focusing on the big games, where it's going to be the Halos, the Fallouts, the Elder Scrolls, all those, the big titles that are, guaranteed hitters. Those are going to be the ones that they invest. Those are going to be the ones that they greenlight, and a lot of these smaller studios or smaller games are going to be pushed to the wayside.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just like scratching my head because I'm like, I'm never getting a Pentiment 2. That's what it sounds like. Because Obsidian they're never going to let them greenlight that shit. And I loved Pentiment. Fantastic. Another game that I played on Xbox and then I bought it again on PlayStation and platinumed it because I fucking love Pentiment. But we're probably never going to get that shit again. And like, I wouldn't even be surprised, knock on wood though, if Obsidian was being put on the chopping block. If they are, you got to show us our numbers, because as we know, back in 2025, at the end of 2025, December, when they were showing, their earnings call, Obsidian, the only game of 2025, and they released 3 games in 2025, and the only one that was successful for them was Grounded 2. Avowed didn't do great, and Outer Worlds 2 didn't do great. They said they were both commercial failures. So however much money they put into it, they didn't get it back. They were not profitable. So they released 3 games and only Grounded 2 or Grounded 1, Grounded 2 turned a profit. So it's like, are they going to be up there next? Because Obsidian's kind of known for making those AA, kind of high-end AA games. They're not really a AAA developer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are you going to do with Obsidian? And are you, because I don't think there's going to be an Outer Worlds 3 or an Avowed 2.
Yeah, I don't think so.
From the looks of how poorly they did.
I mean, I think your idea the other day when we were talking is probably going to happen, which is either allowing them to make the next Fallout or making them remake the one that they made, which was New Vegas.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was like, are they going to become like a Bethesda essentially support studio? Because they did originally make Fallout New Vegas, which was, in my opinion, the best Fallout. So I'm like, are you going to make them make a Fallout New Vegas too? I think that would do well for them, but is that something that they want to do? I don't know. And I'm sure it's definitely not something Todd wants them to do. Todd is just so fucking greedy with his IPs. He doesn't really want anybody else to touch him. But I'm just like, Ash has already said like they're doubling down on Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So I don't think he's really gonna have a say. Like I think she's just gonna be like, at the end of the day, I'm your boss, so it is what it is. Like, we're gonna have to let other studios do this.
Some sort of agreement for sure.
Yeah, because it's like Fallout, the TV show, is very popular, and they need to, garner that popularity while it's hot, right? Like you got people really excited with Fallout with this show, and they would love to take that love and play it in a game, right? Because we saw The Last of Us sales start surging again after like The Last of Us, when The Last of Us initially came out. Everybody went out to get, they did the remaster or the remake for part 1 and then the remaster for part 2, and the sales skyrocketed for that. And it's just like with Fallout, you really don't have anything like that because the remake is taking forever. And Fallout 76 is more of a live service thing, and that's not what Fallout fans really care for, at least the single player ones. So there's just a lot of turmoil right now going on within the Xbox leadership, and it's all like gonna fall. It's gonna sink or it's gonna swim, I think, based on Game Pass. Game Pass, I know people say they need to get rid of it, they need to axe it, but I'm just like, to me, I think Game Pass is like a knife to the heart. And what I mean by that is I feel like, yes, it's obviously killing you, right? The knife's in your heart right now and you're dying. But if you pull it out, you will bleed out and you'll die quicker. Right? And I feel like if they end Game Pass, or at least in the day and date part of it, right? I think that it'll make people bleed out faster. I feel like people will be like, just fuck this shit. The only reason I was staying with Xbox was because of Game Pass. Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of that on Twitter, so yeah.
Right. And I think it would cause an even bigger surge, right? Because we saw how the numbers fell when they raised the price of Game Pass. Now imagine if you take day and date out. I just think that would cause an even bigger exodus than what we've already seen. And I think what Asha's main goal right now is to keep the people that are currently on the console as happy as she can. Like, I think that's why she made Gears and Clockwork exclusive, because those games are not enough to convince really anybody to go out and buy a excuse me, a $600-700 box, to be like, oh, I want to play Gears, like, because there's cheaper ways to play Gears. Like I said, I play it through GeForce now. Okay, you just pay $40 and you can play Gears on your TV. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it works flawlessly, just like a console. But I think that the reason she made these games exclusives is because she wanted to make sure that the current base that is already on Xbox will not leave. Like, she's trying to, it's not about getting more people to come on Xbox. It's about stopping the bleeding and stopping the people who are already on Xbox from just saying, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because they were holding hope so hard on this exclusive thing, right? They were going ham on this when Asha came in, like, please, please, please. The whole Reddit thing with the exclusives at the top, the whole begging her on Twitter, like that was the topic that any and everybody on Xbox was talking about. Is she going to make these games exclusives? The showcase was coming up. Oh my God, is she going to do it? Is she going to do it? Is she going to do it? That was like the main talking point with all Xbox fans. And if she didn't do this, if she didn't make a game exclusive, from the fact that it was so built up, they would have I think they would have just left in droves. Like it had just been, it would have been like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Xbox got my hopes up once again, and this is it. I'm out. And I think again, she did this so that there wasn't that moment, and she can keep that current user base happy. Because as we've seen, even though it's only like 2 games, 1 game this year and 1 game next year, they were perfectly happy with that. They were like, oh my God, thank you. She did it. She fucking did it, guys. Exclusives are back. And I'm like, but it's 1 game out of 7 though. But they don't give a shit. They're like, fuck you. It's exclusive, so I don't care.
Yeah, PlayStation
They're
doesn't
just
get
jealous.
it, so I'm happy. Yeah.
You said what?
PlayStation doesn't get it, so I'm happy.
That's literally all they
that's
care
all they
about.
took from it, yeah.
It's not about, oh, I can keep it from anybody else. It's specifically PlayStation gamers. I just don't want them to have it. And it's literally just 1 out of 50 fucking games. And that was enough for them. So Asha's learning really quickly that you can do the bare fucking minimum for this fan base, and they'll be happy. And so she's getting, here's a sprinkle. And then after the end of the showcase, she got on that stage, like I said, and she's like, how about those exclusives, guys? And they're, yeah. I'm like, yo, this is just sad. So fucking sad. But again, this is the current thing with Xbox. I don't know if this is going to pan out. The current strategy as it is not going to gain new players. Hardware is too expensive and their games aren't good enough. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not about to shell out $600 for fucking Gears. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Or Clockwork. Clockwork looks great and I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to play it on the console. Like, again, it's another game that I'll be playing via the cloud and I'll be perfectly fine with that. There's nothing that they're showing that has me. The only game that I really wanted on PlayStation was State of Decay, and I got it. So it's like, I don't really know. Fable's coming too. I really want that game. It's coming to PlayStation. Like, it's going to take a complete change in strategy to convince me to get an Xbox, especially if Helix is $1,300 plus. Like, I'm sorry. No, I'm good. Like, this, I don't really know how she can turn the ship around. I've been a proponent of, I want Xbox to have exclusives, but now I'm just like, I don't think the exclusives are going to move the needle at all. Like, I don't see Xbox gaining sales. The only time they're going to gain sales this year is when GTA 6 comes out, and that's a what's the phrase? All ships will rise type shit. Where, GTA 6 is the game.
All boats.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And because that game, PlayStation and Xbox will benefit from that. People who have been sticking to Xbox One and PS4 are going to finally commit to next gen because of that game. That's the only game that could do that, where you'll see the masses finally move to current gen.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, PlayStation is going to benefit the most from that.
Call of Duty's also moving, which PlayStation will benefit the most
COD
from
too.
that.
And yep, exactly. It's owned by Microsoft, but guess who's going to benefit the most from that? PlayStation, right? Sure, there's going to be people who upgrade from Xbox One to maybe the Series S or X, but at the end of the day, GTA 6 and COD are essentially known for these IPs, right? It's like, you want to play COD, you want to play GTA 6, it's synonymous with PlayStation at this point. And they're going to be the ones to benefit the most from it. So it's just, especially when this marketing starts and you're going to see a bunch of PS5 logos everywhere with with GTA 6. Yeah, it's going to be PlayStation dominating the sales at the holiday. Yeah, pre-orders are about to go live at the end of the month. It's going to be insane. We're probably going to get a new trailer with the pre-orders at that. So I'm ready for that. I'm also ready for the spec talk. Will it be 60? Will it be 30? We don't know. But that's a different topic. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry I got long-winded, but it was just so much that happened within these past couple weeks,
because that happened.
Xbox is just consistently, for whatever reason, like it's like they need the drama. It's like they're just that one chick that just can't live unless, the sky is falling around her, and she needs everybody to understand that her life is just terrible. Like, you guys don't understand the drama. I'm just like, y'all don't always have to be in the news. Just
You
take
really
some
don't.
time off, be quiet. Like, the one good thing Jim Ryan said, let the games do the talking. Like, that's all. That's the only thing that needs to talk at the end of the day, because that's what we're here for. We're here for the games. You're a platform holder. You make games. You're a publisher. Just talk about that. Like, you don't have to. They keep going around in interviews saying the same thing. Like, I'll listen to like each interview, and each interview, Asha was literally answering the same way. So I was like, what was the point of these 5 interviews when you're just giving them the same answer? Like, I don't understand why you're wasting your time doing this, going around on this political pundit trying to, make people love you and kiss babies on fucking camera or some shit. Like, I'm just like, giving away fucking series, X's to the fans. Cool. That's who deserves it, fan fest. I don't know if she's going to continue that, because the summer showcase was the main fan fest, and these are just kind of smaller ones. So she could just be like, that was just for the main event, and but she could also continue it. I don't know, but yeah, I really don't know what to think of Asha's tenure, because again, she's just kind of culling what Phil Spencer and that regime kind of started, kind of correcting mistakes from the last leaders. So I think 2027 will be more of what Asha implements, and we'll see what direction she wants to go with the brand. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's gonna be the same fucking direction, because I don't think Xbox fans are gonna be supporting these games. I just don't. I don't think they're gonna be
I don't
buying
think so.
them. I don't think they're gonna be completing them, because history has shown, and this is factual, that they do not buy and they do not complete these games. We've seen it. We can see it now on the achievements. Like, why is it a rare achievement to beat a game, a Xbox fucking first party game? That should not be a thing. It should not be rare to fucking get past the 3rd chapter of a game. And I noticed that when I play these games and I get an achievement and I'm like, it's rare. I'm only like an hour into the game. How the fuck is this trophy rare?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so frustrating. And I need Xbox fans, if you want these exclusives to stay and you want things to get better, you're gonna have to at least beat the damn games. Play them, beat them, and if you can, buy them.
At least.
But I don't know if they're gonna do that. So I think Xbox's fate is gonna be the same as it has been. I think they're gonna end up I don't think they're ever gonna go back to full exclusivity. They might give them a couple games a year, kind of like they're doing now, where it's one for this year, one next year. I think they might
if the
do 2 a
profitability on
year.
PlayStation is crazy, it's never going back full.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go back to full though. I
Like,
think
we're
it's just
talking
gonna be a
about
couple party favors here and there.
several $100 million, while your investors are basically pissed off. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't. And Elder Scrolls 6 is the big one. Is Elder Scrolls gonna be exclusive? I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But sorry, that was long winded. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Hey, I see Thrifty joined us here. How are you, sir? And what have you?
I'm just getting educated.
been
I'm over here
playing?
just listening to Morgan just just go off, and I'm like,
Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I was agreeing the whole time. I was like, I saw you pop in. I was like, she on a rampage. I'm gonna let her just keep killing them. You know what I'm saying? She was
I'm just gonna let her burn it down.
yeah,
It's
she
fine.
got the full clip. So I was like, she brought the banana clip today. But I like when she does that,
Fucking
because
banana clip.
yeah, she don't miss. So, but yeah, man.
Oh, man.
How are you, sir? And what have you been playing? Let's get you in here.
Actually, hang on, let me pause this because it's actually what I'm currently playing. I have been playing Adventures of Elliot. I love this game.
Nice.
This is
Nice.
Zelda. This is Zelda from Square Enix. It's I know they say they modeled it off of the Mana series. That I call
Mhm.
bullshit. This is 100% just Zelda.
Yeah,
It is-
I agree with you. I think it's very much just Zelda.
Dog, I got a grappling hook, a hammer, a boomerang, and a set of bombs, and I have to use all of those in environmental ways to free up puzzles or free up different passages and crap. It is Zelda. Whenever you unlock like a secret, like let's say you move a platform to the special spot on the floor, and like the trigger gets like pushed down, it makes a lovely little jingle. Where'd that come from? Huh? Zelda. Like it is literally just Square Enix said Zelda sells like games. Let's do that. And they did. And it's phenomenal. Like it is such a ripoff, but it's a good ripoff. Like I'm not gonna say it's a ripoff. It is heavily, heavily, heavily inspired. That's the best way I can say that. Like we can look at Expedition 33 and go, yeah, this was definitely inspired a lot by Final Fantasy X. No question about it. And then the devs come out and say, like, yeah, it was one of the huge influences on the game. Yeah, no kidding. This is kind of what that does. It's that same kind of message being conveyed. Like this gets a ton of inspiration from Zelda, but I always know I'm not playing a game that's trying to sell me on, hey, look, I'm Zelda. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
It's definitely its own game.
Yeah, because
but it
Elliot's a whole character.
Oh, a whole ass character. He is great. Me and Elliot, Elliot's a wonderful guy. I want him to have a little bit of a dark side, and he doesn't. He is like the model citizen.
Yeah, he
Literally
is.
helps old ladies find their cats. Like it's nuts. And so they made him kind of a little Susie Q character with the no downside or backdrop, and by God, everybody loves him. So that's been interesting because there's no internal like struggle within the character. He has all of his memories. He has a decent life. He has people who love him. Like there's nothing bad.
Yeah, you're looking
Dude
for the
just-
where's the other shoe? Like, where's it at?
Yeah.
Where's that person you screwed over in your past life when you used to do dark shit? Like, it's just nowhere.
Yeah, when is Faye gonna realize that there's this evil side of you that you were incarcerated for 6 years, and because of it, like people like in this certain section, you can't go there. Where is all that shit? Like I need to see that. But
like the reason he's
no,
taking care of the orphanage, is because he feels bad.
I love how we're so used to dark stuff like that when a literally cheery, fully, happy dude comes along, you're like, give me your dark side, because I feel like you like, it's way too cheery, give me that dark side. And I feel we might get that.
Hey, after you finish the game, you don't know, right? Could have a twist.
No.
Man becomes dark immediately.
No.
He loses a leg and
I
says,
don't
"Fuck
know.
everyone in that
No,
orphanage."
No, I'm not spoiling anything. No, don't worry about it.
I will say the game is really well done. It's gorgeous. My son has been watching me play it, and because Will helped me fix my PS5, he can now play it on his profile. So he's about to be getting into it. He really likes the look and the design of it. So I'm here for it. The game is really fun. There's, like I said, it doesn't reinvent a damn thing, but it is extremely solid in what it does, being presentation and story. Combat is pretty lackluster. It's Zelda: A Link to the Past combat. If you catch the right angle on somebody, you just got them. If they catch the right angle on you, you're dead, and you just have to find the angles and just hit them from the side or let them charge at you or move out of the way. So the stupid little fairy that keeps talking when you do something wrong, that hooker keeps looking at me because I won't use the block button. She's like, maybe you should try to block.
Maybe you should use your shield. I'm like, listen here, bitch.
Listen, ho, I need you to sit down in the corner and be quiet. I am doing just fine walking in circles.
Right, you can help,
like,
know.
Yeah. No shit.
Man.
Like, do something. You can light on fire.
They said, listen here, Tinkerbell, do your job.
Like, but I will say she is not annoying as Navi. Look,
She's adorable. Come on.
Look, you missed it. Look, Navi, I wanted to stab. This one,
God,
it's fine. Oh, I can't stand that little fairy, that little guide thing. I hated her in Zelda. But no, this is a perfect example of honoring the past while making it your own. And so I'm really, I love it. It's a great game. But yeah, that's what I've been playing right now.
Cool. Well, before we catch back up. I mean, Morgan gave us, like I said, the solid catch up on Xbox, and you jumped in for that.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So I did the first topic early because I honestly thought you were going to be here early.
Oops.
And I know that's one of the main things you wanted to probably jump in on, because whenever we talk about Square Enix and JRPGs, you like to jump in on that. But I did that first because usually you're here early and you have to leave. So,
bro, I overslept like a son of a gun. I'm so sorry.
So my plan backfired, but that's what happens.
As good plans do.
Yeah. So like I said, we did talk about it. So I wanted to give you your chance. Did you get a chance to read the article?
No, but I understand the gist of what they're trying to convey. It's part of what gamers constantly talk about. Do we want more remakes? Yes. Do we want more original IP? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're very, very terrible people because we want everything always and all the time.
All the time.
And so when I see them say, should they shift their focus? Hell no, they shouldn't shift their focus. Keep giving me my remakes. I absolutely love them. But also, your remakes shouldn't present and play better than all of your new titles.
Also fair.
Meaning, I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has literally some of the best combat they have ever done in any game that they've made. It is the perfect blend of turn-based and action. Tifa is absolutely nuts to control with her martial arts abilities in the game. You are flying all over that screen, but it never left a sour taste in my mouth like it did in 16. It felt natural because I could still pause not pause, but I could still go into the menu and select to use an item, and it slowed down everything. And there were still ways to manipulate the time, and there was strategy that added, and there was elemental damage still, and all of these things. It seemed like so much love and care was given to how do we make something that the old players and the new players are going to enjoy. And then in 16, they said, okay, fuck the old players. We're just going to go for the new. And I'm like,
I mean, they definitely did that.
You're putting your focus on your remakes and your remasters, which have more of a captive audience already. You can kind of say, hey, if we're doing a remake, we know our pool is about X amount of people because it's an IP that you already have a gauge for. When you're making something new, you better put more effort into that. And so I want them to continue to do both, but I also want them to start putting more care and attention on the new IP or the new games. Because like Morgan already alluded to, games don't come out once every 2 years or once a year like they did before. They come out once every 5-6 years. So the new stuff, the remakes are there to kind of help fund along the new stuff. Therefore, if you're spending more on a remake than you are on one of your top games, then your money's in the wrong place. You're not using the remakes and the nostalgia bait, which is what it is. I know I'm getting taken advantage of every time they re-release Final Fantasy in some form or fashion. But the nostalgia bait is there to fund the new projects. So I want them to do both. And I think they need to go over to Team Asano, figure out whatever those boys be drinking over there, and come back over with some actual creative integrity and creative design, pop out the next Final Fantasy, make it Final Fantasy 17, with the 7 in the title, revert and somehow tie in. That's why we're using I don't give a fuck how they do it, but give us the hybrid combat where it's turn-based if you want it, it's action if you want it, and see what happens and give a shit about your story. Like Adventures of Elliot has a problem where it borrows from a lot of different IP, but it's basically your same time travel story, but it feels different because, like I said, they don't use the one thing I hate about Square Enix and their RPGs is they like to use the same type of tropes over and over. This one, there's this dude ain't got no bad story. So I'm sitting here like, damn, this is kind of this is interesting. Like, this is just a good dude. Holy crap. I ain't played as just a straight up good dude in a video game in a while. This is kind of cool. It's a different approach. And it's a different approach that is welcomed by fans. I haven't heard anybody who has played this game that says it's terrible.
Yeah, the
I
reception
can't
for
say the
Elliot's
same.
been crazy.
Right, but I can't say the same. The reception for Elliot was crazy. Octopath Traveler 2, Live Alive, even though it didn't do commercially, just success, big numbers. Octopath Zero, like all of those games are always talked about in the highest regard in their space. You want 16-bit retro, you want a game that looks absolutely stellar, go to Team Asano, they'll get you hooked up. I can't say that about Creative Business Unit 3. I can't. Well, it's not 3. Whoever did 16, I think 3 is the one who does Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth. But I want to get to a point again where I can look at a game and tell somebody, "Hey guys, listen, the combat you might struggle with a little bit." This is my old sales pitch for JRPGs that were turn-based. Hey guys, listen, you might struggle with the combat a bit, but oh my god, the story is so phenomenal. It's not a ripoff of Game of Thrones. It's not the same old ending. It doesn't just have the hero sacrifice himself and then make you think he's alive. Hey, hello, Final Fantasy X. Like, it's not the same thing recycled.
Back then it was fresh. Don't worry about it.
Oh, right. 10 was fresh then, but Square Enix in their newer Final Fantasies
you gotta admit, it did time travel phenomenally.
In which game?
And in terms of what you call it?
Which game are you talking about?
Right?
No, which game are you talking about?
I'm talking about how you time traveled all the way 1000.
Oh my god.
Omar, which
game? Omar.
Oh,
Jesus, bro.
I was speaking English, right?
Yes.
I was talking about Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. The time travel in that one is like, hey, we're going to start you off by transporting you 85,000 years back into the past, and then that's your time travel. Like, but yes, how they alluded to it, Adventures of Elliot does time travel really well too. But I think my problem with Square is what I've already stated. They don't put enough they don't put enough love and care into their newer titles. Let me say it this way, because that's not true. Because their newer titles, I don't believe that they're looking at them and the developers are going, let's make this thing shit. I don't believe that. I do believe they're not trying as hard on the creative side of it. I think they're looking for the easier payouts, and they keep swinging and missing because they're trying to take the easy way out. And so that's why Brave Exvius getting a mobile or getting a actual version, and them not keeping the Exvius name, and then come to find out from like when I was talking to Nate about it, it's like a full ground up retelling, redone this, that. They've done stuff with the combat different. They've done stuff with the getting the different characters is completely different. How you level up is supposedly different. There's a little deeper of a mechanic there. Like,
yeah, they did.
So they've done a lot with that game. They have taken a lot of care and a lot of time to make sure it's done right and that people are going to resonate with it. No pun intended. And so I just don't see that when it comes to their newer titles. Now, they have 2 massive opportunities coming up. One of them in the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake. They have a chance, or the Revelation. They have a chance there to alleviate a lot of the fluff, which they've already talked about. They knew the second game was too bloated. They've said that repeatedly. So hopefully they eliminate a lot of the fluff.
Hopefully.
And give people.
Now we know he's not gonna limit or rather make the mini games less egregious or less frequent.
Actually, he came out and said that they did. They dialed back the mini games quite a bit.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
that.
there was an interview
Okay.
like 4 or 5 months ago where one of the creative guys came out and basically said that in an interview. He was like, "Yeah, we've taken time to consider how there were too many mini games in the second one. There were too many things that bogged the player down." And which that's if you talk to anybody, they're like, "Man, I was doing so good until I hit Gungaga. It's not Gungaga. That's not right. My brain not working. The area right before you get to, or no. Oh shoot! It was the area that had the hotel in it. I can't think of it. Had the hotel. It had the shooting pirate mini game where it was like a carnival style.
I know what you're talking about,
shit.
but I didn't get there.
I don't fucking remember. But it was for me. It was Cosmo Canyon. That was for me the part where I was like, "Oh my god, could this game please hurry the fuck up?" Like.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like that's why what I did, I literally went ahead and did all the busy work on the front just so I can fight with ease and not have to worry about the what you call it, the story get at the club. Like put some music, put a podcast, and do the busy work. Because you need to open the map. You need to be able to fight the mini boss in the area. The Cosmic Canyon was atrocious with the Chocobo. And I love Chocobo, but the
Yeah,
one
because
is
wasn't
was
Cosmo
way too
Canyon where
big.
you use the chocobo to like go up the sides of mountains?
I know what
Like
one you're talking about, but I don't know the name. But
I think
I
it was
know the
Cosmo Canyon,
area.
and because one of them also had where you had to get up and fly through these damn things with the freaking chocobo that
Yeah,
was hard as hell to control
and
in the air. They
and
did a few
they
things in there
are
that were like fan
atrocious.
service. Yeah, it wasn't very good. Not as bad as the platforming in Expedition 33, but that kind of level. Anyways, that's my thought. I'm not going to keep going on this because I know y'all have already covered it, but no, and they need to keep doing both. And the next one I need is either a Final Fantasy X or a Final Fantasy X. So those are my two options for them to
What
give
about
me
6?
next. Nah, I need 10.
Come on, Tara. No, I'm with you. I want 10.
I
But
need
what about
10 with
6?
full redone orchestral presentation and beautiful sound all the time. New.
Okay, but
Oh,
I
I need
want
it
it
all.
to be. I want it to be turn-based.
Also, I don't want
my,
6 because I want to keep the versions of the characters' voices in my head that I have. I don't want it to
okay.
change the presentation of the game like
I get
Kefka.
it. I get it.
Like, I have a whole persona in my brain for how Kefka is
Who Tara
communicating.
is, how she sounds like. Yeah, okay.
Yep. And so I don't necessarily, and they've been talking about this in my Discord, where with the new Persona 4 revival, JP Loco is in there, and he's not very thrilled about them switching voice actors because when he listens to the trailers, he's like, "Man, those aren't the characters I fell in love with." That's, and it really has been throwing him. And so, anyways, that's
I mean,
that's my thought on
just
that. And
mute
I
the
have
characters then.
do what?
Just mute the characters then. Most of the game give you the ability to, play the game on mute if you want to.
So voices usually have their own
Honestly,
audio track, so you can turn it down.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Like you can listen.
But
But yeah,
Yeah,
continue.
sorry, but yeah, that's what I have, and I ain't got nothing to add to the Xbox thing. I've talked about Xbox on 2 different shows. I'm good.
No, I mean I feel
Why
you.
did we invite you here then? Go away.
Go.
No, I
Because
definitely get it.
all you did was copying me about Square Enix opinion, and now you don't have anything to say about Xbox. Come
Hey,
on,
listen,
you had two jobs, and you
listen.
didn't do them well. But yeah, no, it's funny how we both agree with each other on the whole Square Enix debacle.
Yeah, so the only thing to your excitement, because I know you really, really love that combat system, and I've told you this before, my biggest issue with that combat system is the really stupid NPCs, the NPC
I
controlled
mean,
characters. Nigga, stop.
but
Stop. Just no, Omar. You don't get to ad lib no more. Bro, I'm trying to move on. I'm talking to Thrifty and moving on. Sir,
okay,
thank you.
Fine.
Thrifty said he likes the combat. Okay, that's where we're
That's
at
good.
now.
I
Okay,
did. I do love the combat.
okay. So, I do not like the rest of the characters not fighting when I am not controlling them. That has to.
They always fight.
No, they fight like shit. They basically.
No. And then you bounce, but then you bounce between. That's part of the
I know.
strategy.
I
You
no.
bounce between
I
them.
get you like that. I don't like that. I'm saying that has to change
Get
if they're
good.
gonna keep doing that.
That's a Square Enix problem.
Just
Omar,
They
I'm gonna
did
kick
that
you.
with other games.
Like, it's literally part of the strategy. It's one thing in it that makes it feel like that's how they blended everything.
If they're
Like,
not doing anything, I don't want them there.
but it's three different. See, this is what people don't see. It's three different combat styles in one, and it's blended together perfect. So you have the combat style from like Trails, where you can jump between the different characters while you're in the open field. Then you have the combat style from like Final Fantasy VII, where you have the ATB gauge. Then you have the combat style from a more action-based game, like let's say Final Fantasy 13. Not 13. That's a bad example. Final Fantasy 15. And they've
12.
taken
You
them
mean
all and
12.
they've blended
12.
them.
12.
They've blended them all together in this perfect package, and it's amazing. It's one of the things about the combat that is so intriguing, because you'll flip over to Aerith, lay her circles down to where you get boost on everybody, then you'll flip back over to Cloud, cast fire on somebody, but now it's doubled and tripled because you cast it within the circle. While this is happening, Aerith is over there still hitting people, building up her next gauge. You go back over to Tifa, hit him with a somersault.
Okay, so I think we're misunderstanding. They never built their gauge when I played. So I don't know if you're playing a whole different game or they modified that. That did not work when I played that game.
Nah, bro,
That
they
is
always
my
built their
issue.
gauge.
They would never build the gauge. The thing to do the combo meter.
Yeah, I don't remember them building it.
Yeah,
I've
that
been
was my
doing it
issue.
myself the
I
entire
was like, I
time.
have to switch to her, then I have to switch back to him so that I can do the combo, because they will
Yes,
not
now,
build
they-
their combo on their own. That's
No,
what I'm talking
see,
about.
They won't trigger their own abilities unless you, quote unquote, tell them to that way. Because you can put you can give them different stationary static commands, like fight first or heal or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen they got like the basic control stuff.
But no, especially Barrett, because I would always let Barrett just use his machine gun until his gauge filled up, and then I would switch over to him real quick, use his special, and hop back over.
If
So,
I
yeah,
if I
I don't
get
know.
back on this game, sir, and they do not build up this combo meter, I'm gonna take a road trip, and it's not gonna be a fun one. Because
You're like, that's 95 gigabytes of shit that I got to re-download.
Yeah, because this was a whole thing about this was one of the first major mods that came out for the game when it hit PC. It's literally called like Everybody Fights or something like that. Is like what it's called, and everybody actually build up their combo meter and everything. So you can still switch to them if you want to, but they will actually fight in their entirety, like while you're not on them. So you don't have to switch to Tifa.
So let me be very clear in exactly what you're to expect when you go in there, because you just said something that I didn't say they did.
Okay.
The mod that you just said says that they fight in their entirety. No, they do not. Like I don't want to present it that way, because they don't.
Yeah.
But
I know they don't fight in there. Like they don't fight
and
like
they
the
do
mod.
build
but...
up their gauge.
All right,
They
I'm
just
gonna
don't
see.
do their other crap. They don't do their specials. And there's stuff you can do where they like auto cast it and shit, but I've never done that. I'm actually re-downloading Rebirth right now because I'm gonna take videos of this shit and just send it to you.
Yeah, because me and Morgan dropped this game about the same exact location because we were both like, I'm tired, boss.
Y'all dropped it shortly after the Golden Saucer, didn't you?
No, we both dropped it in the boat area or whatever that you were talking about
Juno?
earlier. The place where you
Oh,
walking
after the
up with
whole
the
dolphin
vertical
ride?
with the vertical chocobos walking up mountains and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
That
were
was a
there
hard
for a
area.
while, and then we were both like, "All right."
I will say I did enjoy the card game.
Queen's Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need that game in reality. Like I need them
That
to
have a good
actually
final boss.
make that.
I enjoyed Queen's Blood
Broken-
until I needed to do it, because then the person I needed to fight and needed to get past, they wanted to have the craziest luck on the planet.
A bunch of quitters, man. I don't even
That's what I'm
like
saying. That's what I'm saying. Bunch of fake ass gamers.
Yeah. Hey,
Listen, I gave it a chance, man.
I just thought it was funny because like we weren't even really communicating where we were, and then we both ended up quitting around the same place because I was just like, like I
To
was
be
just
fair,
tired of
that's
it.
where I put the game down for like 3 weeks, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, I had about 65 hours in the game at that point, and I had already decided to kind of beeline the last third of the story because I'd gotten so bogged down, and I was like, I got to take a break, and
Yeah.
I took a break in that area, and then I went back. And then the next area was the one where you fly with the fuckers. And I was like, all right, guys, I have to finish this. Please. Don't.
So
That's all I got to say is in the next game, do not make me fly with Chocobo anymore.
yeah, I'm
good.
I'm done with the weird chocobo mechanics. Like, please just cut all that
I'm
out.
out. It was great. It was fan service. I loved it. I loved seeing them, the different colors, because I remember breeding them in the first game and racing them at the Chocobo Speedway. All of that was great. Lovely nostalgia. Do not ever do that to me again.
Agreed.
But
the one other thing that you did mention, which was funny, because I had to tell you because I was talking trash before you got here about that system, which is and I know you love this game because you eventually fell in love with this game, but the trails in the first combat actually drives me crazy. The trails in the sky first or whatever, the last game that you played, you're waiting for part 2. I don't know if you beat it. Yeah,
No,
but
not yet.
I specifically say first because that confuses people if I say FC because the original is also called that. But yeah, so Trails in the Sky first. But I do not like. I think the hybrid combat that they have, where you can be either action or turn-based, actually is worse than the fully turn-based combat that they had, because a lot of the skills are clearly meant to work in specific modes. So some stuff when you're in action, it works really well, and then some stuff, and then there's certain skills or moves that they do that you can tell the way the NPCs behave or like the way that they move. It would have worked better if you would have executed it in the turn-based mode. So you end up having to either forego some of the skills if you want to be all turn-based. Like it's presented as a choice, but in reality, if you want to utilize everything to the best of its ability, you have to switch between the two modes in order to utilize all the skills really well, is what I will say. And that part annoyed me because I was like, they keep trying to please both, and it's like I wish they would just do one or the other. But I know that you like the split. You like the split combat, but it drives me crazy.
Yeah, and so yes, you are absolutely correct. There are some enemies in the game that actually let me rephrase that. There's some enemies it's not even a choice. Like some of the like bounties you do, actually all of the bounties you do, you can't kill them in open world. You have to fight them turn based.
Yeah, so there you go.
You have it is mainly just for how do you want to explore the map, because even your big in like final bosses and stuff of like stages and whatnot, those are also forced turn based. The fact that you have certain things that work in certain like areas better in like turn based versus action combat is actually by design. It's do you want to just do it this way or do you want to handle it like this? And a lot of times it depends on, well, how many enemies are there? If there's 85 enemies, I'm going to go ahead and whittle down the numbers so I don't get stuck in like turn order hell. Then when there's like 2 or 3 of them left, I'll go in and I'll do a special attack on the last 3 and kill them all. But like that's part of the strategy of it, is kind of learning and understanding, oh, hey, this group works better in this situation, this group works better in this situation, or even, hey, oh crud, Salazar, no, whatever her name is, the older bracer who is helping, wow, not Lloyd, that's the wrong game.
That's a different game.
That's a different game. Lloyd is from the Crossbell arc. Whatever the hell the guy's name is. Joshua. Holy crap. The older girl who's helping Joshua and Estelle when they first come into the bracers, Sherazar. There we go. She is really strong on the open map. Really strong. And so you can actually switch to her, clear a lot of the aggro on the open map, never have to get bogged down with turn-based, and you just cut 50% of the time off of your exploration while still building up all the XP and everything else that you need. And so I that's why I like the combat, because it's not, they do present it as a choice, but in actuality, it operates more as a mechanic than an actual choice. Like you cannot play the whole game one way or the other. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to go over that because I know how much you love both of those systems, which happen to be hybrid. But yeah, I still like it more. I like the Trails one more than the ATB one that you love so much from Final Fantasy. I believe if they fix some of my gripes with it, I think it would be better. But I'm interested to see what the final one does, regardless, and I'm sure I'll finish Rebirth at some point. But yeah, we'll see. As opposed to going full action, which some titles have definitely done here recently, like the new Atelier series. Going full action has definitely turned me away from it 100%. I'll just stick with Ryza and some of the other ones because I don't know. So some series just really need to stop switching their combat because I'm just like, it just kills like what was great about it in the first place, and I'm just like, I don't think some of these studios don't really quite get that, and I'm sure there's a reason for the switch or what have you. I mean, obviously the Atelier series wasn't even really popular until Ryza, so there's a whole theory behind that. But yeah, we'll see how that one does as well. But that was another one where they switched the combat from turn-based, and then they went turn-based for a while, and then they did some sort of hybrid system, and then they just went full action. And but yeah, I'm also fair in the fact that I know most RPG action systems and JRPGs I just don't like, as I feel it typically simplifies the combat, or turns it into a hack and slash or character action game. And I'm like, if that's the case, just make it one of those instead of calling it a JRPG. But I know one in particular that I know Weeb and Omar like that I'm not into, but I just can't remember the name of it right now. Is one that's all action.
The East series.
Yeah, East. Yeah, very good, very good series. But I'm not into it.
One it is.
No, man, Ease 9's combat, Monstrum Nox is fucking amazing.
That's what I hear.
And the story is really good in that one too.
I'm gonna be a watch it on
I saw
YouTube
the
gamer if I
combat
ever do
in
that.
that last one. Yeah, I need to play it, but it it's interesting hearing guys talking about it.
hmm Um, but yeah, let me get us back on track here so we can keep it moving. Weeb, sir, did you have anything you wanted to add to the Xbox conversation? I know Morgan went ham, but
Yeah. There was nothing left now.
he said
She
she
ate
ate
the
it. She ate it
she
all.
ate the
Yeah,
crumb
yeah,
and
yeah.
destroyed the plate. That's what she did. She threw the plate out of the window. It's over. Move on.
And Nate said, "We'd go get a plate," and he was like, "What food?
What
Where?
food?
There's
Where the
nothing
Yeah.
food
left."
at?
Um. Yeah. I mean, it is. Sorry, my throat is still shot. Let me get a sip.
Yeah, grab some tea if you need to or something.
Yeah, some tea with honey. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, it is. Think I know what else to say. What Morgan hasn't said already. It is a fucking tragedy, of course, that these the studios that yeah, that they were championing so much, and they um yeah, to provide them the smorgasbord of games on Game Pass, and now they're going to shut them down. And apparently, anything that's not working on yeah, the money makers, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Like, I'm also really worried about machine games, because I love the Wolfenstein series, and if they're gonna shut them down, like, yeah, no. I'm gonna pay them a visit, because that ain't happening. You know. Uh, but but this is a thing that we warned about. That acquisitions aren't good. This consolidation isn't good, because I mean, we have ample examples. Look at EA. They devour studios left and right, and they set them up to fail, and then they're gonna close them down, probably for tax write-offs or whatever. And yeah, so why are you championing this? Uh, See, this is what's gonna happen. In the end, the smaller studios are gonna be the first to be shut down, because it's easiest to do. Cost them will instantly result in cost savings, and doesn't cost them a lot of money to shutter them, because they're small and they're not really making them a lot of money. Yeah, they're, as Morgan said, they're a victim of the policy or the strategy of Xbox, of Phil. Um, they were just following orders, and now they're for making the games they want them to make. Um, yeah, sure, you can blame them for taking a long time for developing these games, but yeah, Microsoft had a very hands-off approach, which they lauded, but this is what happens. It's basically just the reality is they don't know how to manage studios, so they just bought them. They bought publishers because they didn't want to manage them themselves, so they already had the management in place. Um, it's a testament to their failure to see how poorly they manage their own studios. They what did they do with 343? It's Halo Studios, whatever it's called now. So it is. So in that sense, maybe probably in hindsight better that they didn't more closely manage the studios, because it probably would have gotten worse. It is early shameful that they, especially with Ninja Theory, that they just yeah, dropped that new trailer for their new game, and just so they could basically they knew they were going to close it, and just so they can make it more appealing for potential investors. Which I think, I know somebody on some podcast said, like now every time that they drop a trailer in the showcase, you have to ask yourself, are they is this game gonna come out, or are they just gonna whet the appetite for potential investors, and they're just gonna or close the studio? Like this is crazy, and for the developers as well, because they probably don't even know um, you know that this was happening, and they're and in the future they don't know, what's gonna happen. So yeah, how the hell are you gonna um, create this safe work environment where people can explore new ideas and um, be comfortable working and be proud working for for your company developing games, because they have to do look over their shoulder every time, to see if Ash is coming with the site and reaping their studio, because this is not a healthy way of working. But this is not surprising. I mean, people have been warned. I think one of the founders of, or original founders of Xbox, warned people that Asha is there to just shudder Xbox quietly into the night, which is potentially what's going to happen, at least Xbox as a console, as a brand. And now we're back to Xbox closing studios. Activision did indeed kill them, killed any chance for Xbox to come out on top and become the competitor that everybody wants them to be, and now they're on their way to becoming a third party publisher, um, and killing off all these great studios that they acquired, and were I guess they were also probably I mean it's always hindsight's 50-50. Like you 2020, you don't know what would have happened. Like I think Ninja Theory was struggling keeping the lights on. Double Fine probably had the same problem, but the issue is, like, they said yes, so they wouldn't have to worry about that. But at some point, the bill's got to be paid, and it was inevitable. When you're growing, when they have the ambition to grow, and want to get, making Game Pass, the de facto way of playing games. Yeah, anything is possible. Budgets are limited, but not now when the chickens come home to roost. Yeah, you realize what you signed up for, and this is the reality. Like, you no longer are in control of your own fate, even if you produce a successful game or a critically acclaimed game. There's no guarantee they're not going to close you down. Look at Compulsion, with an award-winning game, didn't sell like shit, but still, it counts for something. But apparently that's no longer enough. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. I do hope that most of these studios find a way to survive, spinning off, or can make them see the light, because it's really sad seeing some of these go, Double Fine needs to somehow stay afloat. But like I said, they have a clause in their contract, can go independent if Xbox wants to close them. So hopefully they will be fine. Hopefully, it won't extend further than what we've already heard. Like I said, if Machine Games closes down, like, that will be disastrous. I mean, that I like that what they did with Wolfenstein way more than the new Doom direction that id Software has gone to. So I really hope that that they're spared from this this onslaught. I mean, I think probably I will just repeat what Morgan has said, so I'll keep it short. Okay, it's sad.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely liked Machine Games way more than whatever it is doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it is at that point as well where their next game needs to be something new, or I don't know what you're gonna do. Because, like, you've done 3 Dooms back to back. The last one obviously didn't hit the same. I think you either need to step up to a new IP, or you need to figure something out. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, Omar, did you have anything to add to that topic?
Yes. Sorry, I had to come back. Okay. Um, I need to make sure that I didn't mishear Morgan. So, did she just confirm something we've been saying for the longest? That Microsoft is creating games based, or rather, around the Game Pass model, and also wait, that cloud model. Basically, dumb down gameplay for the sake of cloud and Game Pass. Is that true?
No, she said obviously games with basically more intricate or hyper like gameplay, like a fast-paced game wouldn't work on the cloud. That's what she was alluding to. Because
Okay,
the cloud
gotcha.
the
Uh,
responsiveness of the cloud is obviously not the same as if you're playing
yeah, no,
native
I
on the
understood
console.
that part.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I said.
No,
It has to do
Understood.
with
Okay,
bandwidth.
so here's my
basically.
so here is my
Oh,
biggest
see what you
issue with
did
this
there.
whole conversation.
Thanks, Weeb.
Here is my biggest issue with this whole conversation. Um, they knew they're gonna close Ninja Theory before they revealed that trailer. Like the amount of fucked upness. I know it's not a word, but I created one to me. It's astronomical. Like if if I'm an Xbox studio, I would be not only livid, I would be mortified. Like these people put in the work, showed the gameplay, the reveal, everything, only for them to be like, oh yeah, we're attacking you. Not only we're attacking you, we knew we're gonna attack you while you are working on this. They didn't even wait for the game to be released before attacking them. That's some next level bullshit. Uh, it and Morgan said you can is fixing film mistake. I can absolutely blame Asha for this one because she could have easily removed the trailer from Ninja Theory and had that conversation about their closure. Like, because we all knew that Hellblade 2 didn't do well. Like, there is no need to be a genius to know about that. But it fucked up beyond belief. And then the other thing is machine games and all that stuff. It makes you question, and I'm not trying to make Morgan or Innate angry, but is Ninja Theory the only studio that showcased their game and might get close? Because there is no, I don't know if there is actual confirmation that they closed it. I think they were still in talk.
No, I mean, I already said that. I mean, I said that there's no, and yeah, there are in talks. It's 100% true that they are in talks. They might close, they might not, but it depends on what they find. But I already said that, yeah, there's there's a chance that other studios like Undead Labs could be next, like, because there's no guarantee, like I
Yeah,
said.
that's what I wanted to say. Like,
I
Tekken
know, yeah,
DJ
that's what I
3
said.
looked
There's no guarantee.
phenomenal. And it's like, what do you do as an Xbox studio? As an like, I don't know, that's so fucked up, dude. An entire publisher treating your studios like, basically, like you're expendable. And that's the fucked up part about it. This doesn't bode well with me whatsoever. Um, I saw a video from Kind of Funny Games from Greg Miller raging about this. I'm just writing it right now. and people are focusing exclusive or not exclusive. I'm like, should you not be focusing on being angry at the state of Xbox right now? Or is it just to own the PlayStation? The same people said to own the libs. You would rather get screwed over just to have the other party not get screwed over, or rather also get screwed over. No, um, I'm my fuck by this one.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
just don't
I,
think the fan base that's left really cares anymore, to be honest. So, which I
I
mean, it's
shared with
sad,
you
but
guys. I shared with you guys not completion. I think starting the game or something like that. I forgot which trophy it is, but for Hellblade 2, it was achieved way more by PlayStation fans versus Xbox fans, which showcased that Xbox people just are not playing the game. And this is literally a 3 hour game. I don't know. Like I don't see. First of all, I don't see uh, Gear 5 or rather Gear 6. I don't know which one it is. Oh no, Gears.
E Day.
Yeah, Gears 1. Gear either. Yeah, thank you. I don't see that doing absolutely well with the cloud, with the destruction and everything. I think it's gonna be atrocious up there. As for sales, they're not gonna buy it. We already know that. And with them pretending the PS5 version doesn't exist, like, why are you acting like that? Instead of business, say we cancel the PS5 version and call it a day. You didn't show it, so there is no issue with PlayStation when it comes to lawsuit or stuff like that. You want exclusive, right? So be upfront about it. Don't be wheezy. Whether yourself and pretend like playing at case by case basis. Hey, at the end of the day, we gotta see what is going to be impacted. And if anything from the rumor is true, apparently, if you're not working on uh, Elder Scroll or the Fallout series, I think they named some other game, then you're bound to be sacked. We will see. Next few weeks are going to be pretty not interesting, uh, fucked up. That's the best word for it. It's just fucked up. And then you want to talk about Helix and how you want to revamp it or go to the war, to the drawing board again. How about stop Helix right now? No, you don't need a next gen console. I'm sorry, like nobody needs a next gen console with the prices that are right now for the components. Wait till 2030. We have shit ton of games to be released. We don't need to cross next gen yet. Really? Xbox haven't earned to cross next gen, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think
Neither
the
play.
trouble for them and the reason they want to go to next gen is they're looking for that reset, which is what Xbox always does. When they think they're down on a gen, they're looking for a leg up in the next iteration because the problem for them is they waited so long to kind of start making a move that now people are more apprehensive than ever to invest in a platform currently, um, because at least multiple people like Morgan or whatever that doesn't have a Series X because she has multiple ways to play the games that are already available, and even the ones that are coming, even if they're not on PlayStation. And it's like, why would she invest this late in the game for $650 to $700 plus on an Xbox when we don't know, any day now between the end of just basically sometime next year to 2029 or whatever, a next Xbox could launch, and you're investing in something that's got a very short lifespan. So, like, that's the trouble they're running into, which is why I think no matter what, they want to get the next thing out. But yeah, I agree. It's a mistake to rush it, especially with prices. Um, but I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that reset so people can be confident in investing in that product, knowing it's going to have a shelf life of 6 to 7 years on the market. Versus if you invest now, like at the most, you've got 2 to 3, the very most. So I think that's the problem for them.
But what confidence is it there if your own studio don't have any security?
Yeah, I mean that's an issue.
That's so weird. And not to mention, and this is the biggest part, and this one where what's his name, Greg Miller was raging about, and nobody was talking about, is that Microsoft is the one that invested in AI that resulted in the costly components now. I know they're making the game exclusive, and people that want to buy their console can't even find the console because of the exclusive, what you call it, expensive component. So at the
Yeah,
end of
I
the
mean
day,
they exaggerated their own issue.
your
Yeah.
your exclusivity is going to hurt you double fold because your consumers can't even buy your console, and if they don't have a PC, they're fucked. And it's not on PlayStation. Yo, if there is ever game to be literally going to die a thousand deaths, is Gears and Gears E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. We're gonna see. This is atrocious. But yeah, let's move on. We've been in too long.
Yeah, it is what it is. In other more fun news, we got the pre-order date officially this time for the elusive game that is GTA 6. Um, I mean, we've been betting on this game and when it's coming and when is it finally going to not be delayed for quite some time. So June 25th, and like Morgan stated earlier when she almost went into it, we are most likely going to also get another trailer, which is always an exciting time. I mean, people have been analyzing the last one frame by frame for forever. Um, Rightfully so. I mean, this is a massive event for gaming, whether you're into the game specifically or not. Um, Tech always advances, or different techniques, all kinds of stuff happen when a GTA drops, that people just forget about sometimes, because and rightfully so. The last one launched on PS3, right? Um, some of the things that they've done in that game still to this day haven't really been replicated, right? Um, you know, some of the animations and things that they've done in that game, you're talking about, over, 100 plus different quests and things you go on, or missions you go on in there. And some of them, they have animations created one off for single missions that you don't do any other time. Um, you know, from some of the protagonists setting houses on fire, where you're, pouring out gas tanks, and just the craziness that just kind of goes on with these stories. And like I said, there's just so many instances where they just create um, these really unique play mechanics that really you don't really see in other games. So I mean, from a technical standpoint, it's always a showpiece of what's really capable that generation. Obviously, this is the most expensive one that's ever existed. They're estimating well over $1 billion, up to $2 billion invested, which, when you given the amount of money they made, isn't really saying much. It makes sense to invest like that when you've had a game on the market as long as they have, that sold as much as they have, and that you're anticipating to sell as much as they will. The more you do on the baseline, the more you can do in expansions and other things later in the future. So obviously, I'm excited about that. Like I said, June 25th. For that, um, it's I'm excited for that to finally get locked in. To come out November 19th. We've seen so many companies dodging that date for obvious reasons. No one wants to be
Yeah,
directly
September.
near that.
The Dome of Death. Yeah,
Yeah, so
September,
everybody's trying to
October.
cram in September. Also because like end of fiscal year for a lot of them and some other stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean it's gonna be exciting. I don't know if the Weave, do you play GTA? I don't really know your opinion on GTA.
Yeah, I did play 5. Yeah.
Okay,
Um.
you planning to pick it up?
Yeah. Definitely will pick it up. Uh. Yeah.
Cool, sounds good. Omar, you picking it up?
Last GTA I played was 3, I think. I did watch a lot of Vice City and San Andreas and stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna see if I'm. Oh yeah, it's not on PC, so yeah, no,
Yeah.
probably not then, unless I can find it for a good price. Because I'm
Okay.
not putting full price on it. Wherever that full price is going to be.
Yeah, the other debate, what is going to be the price? Everybody debating if they're going to push to 80. Personally, I don't think they will, but I mean, it's not like I'm not going to buy it for $10 more. So, I mean, it's not going to stop me. My bet is $70 though. Um,
We already at 80 over here, so yeah.
yeah. Morgan, obviously, ma'am, I know you are excited. You ready to lock in? Um, so I know you're day one, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big Rockstar fan. Got like 500 plus hours in Red Dead 2.
I was gonna say
Still
you
waiting
you
on
the
that
Red Dead Queen.
next gen, the current gen port, for that. I want 60 FPS for Red Dead 2, but Rockstar playing with my feelings right now. But yeah, I've been ready for GTA. Play GTA 5. I also have hundreds of hours in GTA 5. I love the campaign. I'm not an online person. Like I don't play GTA online. I know that's like the more popular thing. I don't really care about that. I'm there for the story, for the fun of it, go to the strip club, fuck shit up, type shit, get the 5 stars, get the cops on me, that kind of jam. But yeah, I'm absolutely ready for this. This is gonna be like the next breakthrough in gaming and in innovation. I'm ready to see what they bring to the table because every time Rockstar releases a game, it's always something innovative. It's always something we've never seen before. So I'm really excited to find out what exactly they've done with this game. And I know that they understand that that's what people want, but I'm sure like the pressure is a lot for those developers. But I know they will meet my expectations, if not exceed them. So I'm absolutely excited. I pretty much knew that this, like, it's been delayed multiple times, but I was like, there's too many signs that November is definitely the day for them
Yeah, I
to
agree.
lock it in. Like they was just, the marketing started happening. PlayStation started mentioning it in their own marketing. Um,
And it was
you
in their
know,
financials.
it was in their financials. Like it was like, okay, too many hints now that this is definitely the day that it's happening. And now we've gotten confirmation. Pre-orders will be made available at the end of the month. So I'm like, oh shit. And like you said, the big pending question, what is going to be the price? And I hear this whole theory that people are like, other publishers are waiting to figure out what Rockstar is so they can set their own prices. But I'm like, but Nintendo's already moved to 80, so why are y'all waiting on Rockstar? Like, if you wanted to go
Mm-hmm.
to 80, just do it because Nintendo has released like 2 games at this point, that are going to be 80 with the Mario Kart World or whatever the fuck, and then Fire Emblem. So it's just like Nintendo's already done it. They don't give a shit.
And and
So
and
if
and it sold out, the Fire Emblem. I
Well,
have to
the
well,
cut
the
the
you off,
collector's
col-
but
the
edition,
it
the
sold.
collector's
collector's edition
edition.
specifically.
That's like 150. I don't even remember what I paid, which is crazy.
That's a
But
crazy. Yeah, that's a crazy part. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, but that's how it
Um,
is. When you like a game, you don't care. Like you're just like, nah, I bought that.
But yeah, that's my point though. I don't see why people are thinking that they need to wait for Rockstar for permission to do that. I'm like, it's already been a thing. If
Yeah,
they
like
wanted
if your
to
game
set the
is,
price for 80, then
yeah,
I don't understand why they wouldn't need Rockstar to be the first one to do it because they're not the first one to do it.
yeah, because
Um,
ultimately these games ain't Rockstar, so
yeah, and I wouldn't want Rock like I mean, because it's like if Rockstar is gonna be $80, I'm like, are you trying to say that your game is worthy of the GTA 6 price tag?
exactly.
Like, it might be worse if it's $70 because then if people they try to move to 80, they're gonna get ridiculed. Because it's gonna be like if GTA 6 is $70 and next year these publishers try to hit for 80, people are gonna be like, okay, but Rockstar, which released probably the highest selling game of the generation, just released it at $70. So why do you feel like you can release your game at $80? It's nowhere near the quality of GTA 6. People are gonna make that argument, but so maybe that's why they want Rockstar to do it because it's like, well, if Rockstar stays at 70, they can't really make an excuse to
You
jump
can't
to
really
80, right?
justify it. Yeah,
They can't justify it like, well, the game that everybody loves is $70, and here I am trying to say that my game is better than that one. Y'all know that's not true, so fuck it. So maybe that's why they're waiting. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting regardless. Like I don't give a fuck about what the price tag is because honestly, I'm getting the super deluxe edition anyway. I'm gonna be paying over the standard
I'm
price
not.
anyway. I'm probably the 100+ edition dollar one is what I'm getting. So
Yeah,
I don't
same.
really. So the 80 whatever doesn't really matter to me. To be
That's not.
honest.
That is a question that it's been so long. I forget. Does GTA even ever have deluxe editions?
Yeah, Red Dead 2 had a deluxe edition.
Okay, Red Dead did have one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember if GTA did. Um,
I don't
because it was like
remember GTA having one,
2013, and I
but
don't
it
know
was
if deluxe
also a
editions
really
were a
long
thing in
time ago.
2013. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I don't
so
remember if deluxe editions were a thing in 2013. But Red Dead absolutely has one, and that
okay.
their Red Dead's deluxe edition is like $100.
Oh well, there you go.
So yeah, there's that answer that question if they don't raise the price. Um, but yeah, because it came with like extra saddles and it came
I
with
do
like
remember
coins and
that.
shit
I
for the
because
online
I
and
did
shit.
get that. I have it. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but regardless, though, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what this next trailer looks like. I'm ready to see like the deep dive of gameplay because we've seen a lot of trailers, like just
Yeah, honestly,
story
I'm about to
trailers
take the
and
game
stuff.
off. I'm about to take the day off, to be honest, before anybody else put it in.
Oh yeah, I saw the whole thing where that one company literally just decided to close the
I
day
mean,
of
honestly,
Rockstar's release
they might as
because
well.
they said so many of their employees were asking for the day off. So they said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna we're gonna close." And I'm like, if people don't think this is gonna be a nationwide thing, I already said like how people are like they're assuming the economy is gonna be completely affected by Rockstar's release because there are gonna be a mass amounts of people taking that day off. And they expect the economy to like literally fluctuate because of GTA 6. And I'm like, yep, that's true. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised though if a lot of companies try to make that a blackout day where people can't take the day off. But I'm like, listen, a blackout day don't mean shit because I'll take it off anyway.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
be like, yo, I'm
I'll just say I
dying,
got
bro.
sick. Like, oh, I
Like, I'm
conveniently got sick
dying.
on Rockstar's day. Oh, came down with it's very contagious. I can't go to work today. But yeah, I'm so ready for this game. Like I said, I need to see the deep dive for the gameplay. Like I want to
Yeah,
see
I'm ready for
what
that.
this gameplay is going to be, how they innovated off of GTA 5, how the NPCs interact because they a lot of the hints and rumors have been about like the NPC improvement um over GTA 5 and how they interact with you and like all that shit. So I'm ready to see what we can do, how far we can go. Can I get my own place? Like
Yeah,
what's the level of interaction that I could have in this game?
they always do something next level. Like it's always
Yeah,
something. So
Red Dead 2 was those horse balls, man.
yeah,
Can't live without the horse balls shrinking and inflating. That was necessary. That little detail that apparently people really cared about.
well, it
So
already looks like the
I can't.
main. It already looks like the main character can work out again, which it hasn't
Yeah,
been a thing since like San Andreas.
yeah.
So
I
that's
mean, we
gonna be
kind of
interesting.
saw a hint of that with Red Dead 2 with Arthur. You could get like fat or skinny based on how you ate. Um, so I could see them doing like a weight system because it did look like the main character's size kind of fluctuated between some of the
Mm-hmm.
trailers. So I could definitely see it being like, oh, if you go to the gym more, he comes as like a gym bro, and you know, you got the muscles, but then if you don't, you kind of just lose weight and everything like that. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm down. I'm ready to see it. I just need to see it. But yeah.
Agreed. So day one, November 19th.
Yeah.
We'll see shortly. I'm excited. And then lastly here, before we get out of here, our last story here. PlayStation reaffirms their stance on their current strategy. PlayStation basically stating, they're reinforcing that PlayStation is the place to play their first party in-house titles, um, as opposed to what some people thought, thinking, a bunch of titles are going to go to PC, or, this hasn't really been confirmed, or this, that, and the third. Now, this is, again, another time it's been kind of put down. And then on top of that, Jason Schreier reaffirmed that, if people felt like it wasn't clear in that recent reaffirmation, that was 100% what was stated internally. So whether you thought what Nishino said recently was clear enough, he basically reiterated like that was told to everybody internally that's how they're proceeding. Now, obviously, if that changes, then that means something changed. But as it stands right now, PlayStation first party, tentpole titles, single player titles are PlayStation and PlayStation only as of this moment. Some people felt like there was some leeway in what Nishino said recently, but until something actually happens from that, I don't know. But yeah, you can definitely tell the salt got reignited because it's been, some of these accounts have been nonstop crying on the timeline for like the past 2 or 3 days about this information and about PlayStation. How dare they? They need us. PC and is the way, is the future. Whatever. Like, it's just been so weird. So it's definitely reignited. Some of the haters. Knowing they're not going to get these titles, not going to get the Wolverine. God of War Lao Fei, despite all the people acting like they don't want to play God of War Lao Fei, because we all know that joint's about to be straight fire. And then of course Intergalactic coming as well. Then you do got some titles that at least PC is going to get, which is the either second or third party stuff. Some of it at least, like the upcoming Phantom Blade Zero, which is apparently extremely impressive, by the way. So I'm even more excited for that. Even though not specifically from this person, but the way they described it, because you can't trust some of these people in previews. But I forget his name, Luke Smith or whatever, or Luke whatever. You know who I'm talking about, Morgan, the guy who always, you said he could talk about nothing forever or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he got actual hands on and stated, yeah, it's definitely not Souls-like. He said it allows a lot more nuance and control in the combat and stuff like that. So yeah, another game that PlayStation, as
He said
Xbox,
that gameplay was fire.
yeah, he said the gameplay was amazing.
I need the demo for that.
Yeah, what he said also, what the big mindfucker is, apparently everything that they showcase is side quest. None of it is
Yeah.
main story.
Yeah, I
Which
saw that.
is insane.
Yeah, I mean, because everything they've shown has looked amazing. So, yeah, I mean, if that's all side
Oh,
content,
yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah, I
So-
already beat, what do we call it, Wukong, so I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Another game, as the Xbox delegation like to say, PlayStation console exclusive, is what Phantom Blade Zero is looking to be. I'm sure there will be even more titles in combination with the China Hero Project and stuff. We always get late confirmations for some of this stuff coming, even up until like a few weeks out. for some stuff to lock in. So there still could be some more games that we're just not quite sure that'll still make their release this year. Like I said, other games from the China Hero Project, Middle East Hero Project, and so on and so forth, and any other titles that PlayStation has invested in. If people missed that, we did cover where PlayStation mentioned over the course of this generation, they have um, helped fund slash develop over 120 titles outside of the Hero Project and whatnot. So again, PlayStation making sure and securing a lot of these titles for that platform, while also locking in that assurance for making sure PlayStation is the place to play their first party titles. Um, yeah, not really surprising. Um, in this news, some people are thinking that with what Noshina said, that something like Sorrow still might come to PC. I mean, I don't know, because of one of the things that he said was if it makes sense for the experience to maximize the experience or something. So of course, PR double speak, or is literally meant for insinuations. So of course, people are latching onto that want to have hopes and dreams. Maybe you get it, maybe you won't. I don't know. Uh, all of us got PlayStations though, so I don't care. If you really want it, you'll get a PlayStation, and that's the way PlayStation should keep moving for the future. And just ignore the haters, because most of them got PlayStations too. So,
If that's the case, I don't understand why they didn't go the way Jason got it. Why not go full blown and say it
I mean,
out loud? Why?
I know you a speculation person. You gonna speculate till Jesus comes back. So I already know. Um, Again, I told you that's just not the way corporate speak works.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, it's just corporate people never speak straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't really speak in absolutes because things change and things can happen, and then you look stupid
exactly.
like fucking Xbox. So that's why they leave the loophole open.
Yeah, they're like, they say it without outright saying it. Yeah, and like you said, it's designed that way to not lock you in to that commitment fully. So you can be like, okay, this one game that's really unique made sense to do this way, and you're like, and
Apparently, Phil
yeah.
Spencer didn't get the memo then.
Well, no, because they were too busy trying to please the little fan base they got over there and trying to tell them absolutes. Um, he tried it at one point with, it's not just 4 games, or it's just 4 games or whatever, and then he was like, there's no red lines. That means, what does that mean? So I mean, that's perfect PR speak. There's no red lines, but it'll be on a case by case basis. We'll see. Those creating those uncertainties is probably the best way to go about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, I'm excited for that. I think they really need to refocus. I think PC was a distraction, um, the same way live service was a distraction. Reel it all in, refocus, make sure you're not missing any of these third party titles. Do not miss major titles, um, like they're missing some now. With Now, some of that stuff was not their choice, but you need to make sure you're securing as many of these as possible. Um, like I said, the at least as far as upcoming titles.
Bravery Default, I'm looking at them like, how the fuck did you not get that one?
Yeah, I don't. The ones that are on Switch first are kind of weird. Because there's other games that have gone to Switch too, as well, or Switch as well, and then they only go to PC. So and then, so yeah,
But
I don't
this
I
one
don't know
is
what those
going to
titles.
Xbox, so
Bravely Default?
and I think.
No, it is only on PC right now.
Let me look it up. Which one? The new one that they revealed.
Yeah, it's not Bravely
I think
Default though.
Bravery Default. I forgot what it's called. Quit in it. Let me. I'll look it up and I'll get back to you after the show.
But yeah, like I said, they definitely need to just make sure they're not missing some of those, like Threads of Time or Widgebrook when that does finally launch. Neither one of those have completely locked in platforms, so hopefully they manage to secure those. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, PlayStation's.
Witchbrook is locked in.
I mean, they
It's
claim
just not coming to PlayStation day
yeah,
one.
they claim they're not. Like, I don't know.
Man, they locked in. I don't know what they're talking about. It's taking way too long for the development for the platforms they got now. They're not about to add another one right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, apparently, like Witchbrook is going through some stuff, so.
Yeah, we're not seeing PlayStation for another 2-3 years. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, for the most part, yeah. Like as far as the first party squad, like I said, refocus, get everybody back tight. Stop this nonsense with some of these studios not delivering a single game this generation. That's unacceptable. Like again, get it together. Um, so yeah, the messaging right now sounds really great. Again, not surprising, because like I said, Jason Schreier, he frequently reports uh, plenty of negative news on PlayStation, so it was pretty much a sure thing once he reported on it, at least as far as what were the happenings with the town hall meeting. But yeah, this is great news. Like I said, I'm always for PlayStation focusing on themselves. I think they do the best when they're focused on themselves. And like I said, I've always felt like PC was just a distraction and a waste of time. And it just diluted the reasons to own a PlayStation. And it seems like they might have finally realized that. So we'll see. Morgan, did you want to chime in real quick on this one? Like I said, it's just reaffirming something we talked about before. So
No, not really. It's just confirmation of something we already knew. So yeah.
Agreed.
Like people are just having a hard time accepting that fact, and that's fine.
And that's why they keep having to bring it
I've
up.
seen people taking that loophole and saying, "Oh, that means that they're eventually gonna come." I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna argue with you. If you want to believe that and hold that hope,
Yeah, hold that hope. Yeah.
do you, bro? Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it where I know it's coming, which is PlayStation. So you have fun with that.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, Viber said the same thing we said. They need to leave it open ended, so that they don't get got. Like you said, like the Xbox executives keep getting got because they keep trying to give absolutes. There's a reason why PR doublespeak is like literally executive 101. Weeb, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, not really. Just reading an article that apparently Herman Hull said PC ports didn't make enough money. So
All facts. That's what he said.
Yep.
I was like, so what we said, like it wasn't making nothing. Like we said, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they tried to gaslight us that no,
Yeah.
you need us.
But what about all that profit on PC?
Yeah, leaving all that
Okay,
money on the
sure.
table. How could you?
Exactly.
It's like, all what
Yeah,
money?
yeah.
The $5 we left on the table? Like, but yeah. Omar, did you want to add anything? I mean, I know you're excited. I mean, you hated the PC initiative since day one, so this should just be great.
Yeah, and look at how I hated both PC and the live service, and look at how both panned out. And next week we're gonna talk about Sony and AI. We see what next with them, but with this whole PC thing, like never say never. You never know with these people. This is why they left it open. We're gonna see how they're gonna last. We're gonna see what's gonna happen to PlayStation. Because right now, PlayStation is in a lot of shit when it comes to some places, especially with Bungie. But that's another topic for another day.
Yep. But yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you everybody who joined us today. It's been fun. The chat's been active. You guys have been contributing a lot of good points as per usual. Yeah, like I said, thank you everybody for spending the time with us today while we've been live. Whether you're listening to this now or you're listening to this later, we're gonna go ahead and get to our outros and get up out of here. It's been fun. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you.
Gaming. Other Nation.
Otter Nation.
Facts, Otter Nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
I second what Weeb said because I literally an hour ago got right back on Adventures of Elliot because I
Oh,
was
I
like,
know.
damn,
I saw you.
I'm fiending right now, and I'm loving every second of it right now. So yeah, I'm about to be lost in the world of Elliot. So yeah, gaming. We talked about a lot of negative news, and which is unfortunate, but there's a lot of positivity when it comes to creativity in gaming right now. A lot of great news,
Like Stranger
despite
Than
that.
Heaven, because that game looks
Exactly.
amazing.
Woo,
It's on
shit,
screen right
yeah.
now. Good
Pre-ordered,
God.
ready to go. Yeah. Um, this summer's quote unquote E3 was fantastic. So even with the looming cloud that of delays or not delays, but inevitable layoffs and things like that are coming for Xbox and also PlayStation. Like we're probably gonna be talking next week about Bungie's layoffs. Um, there's still really good games coming out, and that's what we're here for, the games at the end of the day. So I can't complain. I have way too many games that I'm excited for coming out soon. So yeah, Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Other Nation.
Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
You can find me at Caravan on Twitter. And here, see you all next week. Play your game. Play your game. Oh yeah, and play your game.
Cool. And I am your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Twitter and Blue Sky. And with that, we are gonna get up out of here because, like they said, it's time to play some games. Because at the end of the day, that is what it's all about in this great hobby that we call gaming that we all love. Um, So with that, we're up out of here. Otter Nation.
Other Nation.
Otter Nation.
That's a donation it is.